Well, is my camera not in the right place?
Oh no, you're good.
I think you're good.
Well, because Kenny's not like in the frame. He's like, I see half his head, or is that the point?
Oh, I don't know if you're looking at the right stream. Look at Kenny's stream.
Oh, I'm looking at your stream.
Yeah. Don't look at me.
Yeah, if you look at my stream, you'll see.
Oh, yours looks fine. Okay, sorry. Yes. I was looking at yours.
Yeah, mine is cursed.
Yours looks completely cursed.
No, mine is just a cursed image. Like, don't even.
Okay, I was looking at the wrong stream. All right, I got you guys up. Your beautiful faces.
All right. Welcome back to the IMNerd podcast, guys. We are joined today by special ghost, not ghost.
Not special ghost.
I mean, I looked like a ghost, to be fair.
Not you gomaging him before we even started talking.
That was an accident.
Homage this man.
Omelette du gomage.
I did not mean to gomage Cimo. We have Alex Cimo returning to the fucking channel, the fucking podcast, guys.
Da, 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 da. This is gonna be such a fucking mess of a podcast. Thank you for having me, Frazier.
Yeah, it's already off to a start. We're
already botched.
We are here to talk about Clair Obscur Expedition 33, which is undeniably going to be the game of the year 2025. If it's not the game of the year, I genuinely think I want to riot. I want to fly to wherever the Game Awards are held and like do something about it. I don't know what.
I'll tell you what. That trash game, what's it called? Death Stranding. That better not win.
Yeah, I brought it up to Kenny. Kenny did not like that when I brought it up. I was like, isn't Death Stranding in the competition? He was like, absolutely not.
It's in the competition. There's no shot.
It is.
Yeah, it's in the conversation. And then everybody knows.
My God.
Everybody knows Silk Song will be there. And like, no hate to Silk Song. Hollow Knight's actually a great game.
It is, from what I understand.
But Clair Obscur Expedition 33, I think it set the world on fire being a brand new IP and just... it made people excited for JRPGs in a way that I haven't seen people be excited since like FF7, FF10.
Yeah.
Like it had an explosion of excitement that JRPGs just have not had in, however long.
And this is not a JRPG, right? Like this is
a JRPG.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's French. So
it's a French RPG, yeah. But I was gonna say that, like, I love that Clair Obscur was just like the biggest middle finger to the gaming community. Not that, I'm sorry, like the AAA gaming community, in the sense that, Square Enix comes out and is like, oh, people don't want turn-based combat anymore. That's like archaic. And then this game comes out and is like, okay, you just didn't innovate. So,
right.
I loved that. That was so great.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this game for multiple reasons. First off, I saw the trailer for it before it came out, months before it came out. But when I saw the trailer, I wasn't interested in it at all. I don't know why. Just it looked like some kind of other game. I didn't even understand that it was really an RPG. I thought it was one of those like an adventure type of game or something that I just would never play. It just looked so, and I don't know what else word to use. It looked so obscure to me that I just thought I would never play it. So then April 24th, 2025, this game comes out officially. I happen to be going to Japan on May 1st, 2025 for 2 weeks. So there was a 7-day period where I could have started the game, but I was like, I'm packing for Japan. I'm going to Japan next week. I was like putting out content. Me and Kenny were recording content extra, trying to get stuff ready so that I'd be gone for 2 weeks. And I go to Japan and I'm still talking to like Cimo and Brittany, his wife, and they're telling me about this fucking game. And they're like, yo, you have to play this game. It's like the best thing ever. And I'm like, okay, well, one, I'm not home. And two, this game did not look like it was going to be some amazing game, but everybody is talking about it. And then when I finally got home from vacation, the first time I started streaming, everyone's like, did you play Clair Obscur yet? Did you play Clair? And I'm like, why is the whole chat talking about this one fucking game? Like, bro, what is this game about? Anyway, I was playing other games at the time. And they're like, yo, you gotta start Clair Obscur. I was on like The Last of Us and all these other games. Like I'm playing.
You did Ocarina of Time, Last of Us.
Yeah,
I think it was those two and then Clair Obscur, right?
It was. It went in that exact order. It was Ocarina of Time, The Last of Us after Ocarina of Time. So I think I'm doing my big one. I think I'm gaming as good as gaming can get. I'm like, bro, I just followed up Ocarina of Time, which is arguably one of the best games of all time, with fucking The Last of Us Part 1, which is also literally one game of the year, blew up the industry when it came out 12 years ago or whatever. One of the biggest games of all time. Revolutionary game, revolutionary show by HBO. And then like everyone in my chat while I'm playing this game is like, yo, next you gotta play Clair Obscur. Next you gotta play Clair Obscur. So the whole world was just like on this game. Eventually, one night I just was like, fuck it. I'm going to download this game. I'm going to play this game, see what happens. I turn it on. Immediately, Brittany, Cimo come in the chat. Like, they're just like, yo, you are not ready. We are not going to spoil it. You are not ready for this. This is about to be fucking insane. And when I
Were we wrong?
You couldn't be more right.
No, not wrong.
You could not prepare for this game at all. I think that this game has elements of Game of Thrones, which like really speak to me because that's like my favorite show of all time. And the opening of it, just the opening homage, it harkens back to like Final Fantasy X when Yuna does that first sending, like when she does that in Kilika Island, Kilika Port, and she's like does that first cinematic scene in Final Fantasy X where she does the sending and all the spirits fly away. The homage, they don't even tell you what it is when you're watching it happen, but you just know from playing games or just from being an adult or whatever, you just kind of know like what is happening. When you see it, you're like, oh shit, this is going to be one of those kind of games. I love dystopias. I don't know how you guys feel, but I love a dystopia. It's amazing.
No, it has an awesome setup. I mean, right from the beginning, you start off, you're just like some guy in a suit. You don't know what's going on. You meet this little girl. She's just like talking smack. And then like you meet this girl, you get to feel that you guys used to date. There used to be some love there, a little bit of love lost. You're talking again, and it's like kind of somber. It's like he's giving her a gift, and it's kind of a somber conversation. And then you're going through hanging out with this woman, and then, you know, let's say an hour of gameplay of you just kind of running around and not really understanding fully what's going on. And you're like in France. And then all of a sudden, this girl that you know that you're in love with and everybody else just die. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, everyone gathers.
Just to correct you, it's not even an hour. It's like 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
Like it does not take long. And the reason I want to correct that is because this game does not, like, as soon as it starts, it's going. Like you are, there is no breaks with this game. As soon as that cutscene happens, it's just all gas from there, baby.
It ropes you in really quickly. It does a really good job of drawing you in. First of all, we can talk about this. It's beautiful. Like the actual game, style. As soon as it comes on and Gustav is looking out at the monolith, it's like the opening shot, and he's over that garden and everything. That opening shot is so beautiful. I was like, wow, this world is insane. Now, I played it on PC with like max settings and all of that shit. I've been using my PC to the fullest extent because I bought like a 4090. I didn't know what I was getting into with this game. I had played other games that look really beautiful, Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, God of War Ragnarok, stuff like that. So I've been stress testing my PC. By far, though, this game looks the best out of any game I've played on my PC so far. It's not even close.
You know what's really cool about that? Just to give Expedition 33 its credit, you can tell graphically it's not like GTA 6 budget, right? Like, it's not like the greatest graphics of all time, but what it does really well, and I think is a tribute to what your point just was, it's fucking beautiful. The art style is
the art
beautiful.
Style. It's the style. Yeah.
Yes, and it makes it so enriched and enhanced.
And what immediately draws your intrigue too in the opening shot is how chaotic the world kind of looks when you're looking out at the monolith. You see floating things in the sky. You see like rocks and buildings that are floating. And there's just all of this chaotic looking imagery, but people just seem to be at peace and kind of calm about it. Like no one is running around or afraid of it. And in my head, I'm like, bro, there's a fucking library floating above the city. Like, what is going on? Why is no one alarmed? Why aren't people afraid that shit's going to come crashing down? Things are just floating in the air. But then you run around with Mael, and like she darts off super fast. It's almost comedy the way she like dashes away from you. And so you run up to her. Y'all have like a little moment with Sophie, and then you realize that you used to date this girl. And today is some special day, and it seems very sad. Like Kenny was saying, it's very somber. But when they get to that first homage scene and the paintress stands up in the distance and it gets really dark out, it looks like that twilight. The sky's like that twilight color, and the paintress erases the 34 and then writes 33 on the monolith. And then you can tell that Sophie, who said that she's ready for this moment, you can tell that there's actually a moment of like fear in her eyes, that she doesn't actually want to die in this way. And it's really sad because everyone else starts to fade away and turn into white and red roses. She's one of the last ones to actually go maj away. And he's looking at her. He's like, I'm right here. I'm right here. And then she just disappears. And when I started to like on stream, I started to literally tear up. Like mind you, like Cimo said,
Brittany did too.
I'd only been playing for like 30 minutes because I really was like running around a lot and doing a lot of talking. I talked to some people more than once, so I got like the same dialogue sometimes or whatever. I was really trying to understand like, what is this kind of game? Like, let me talk to everybody, make sure I don't miss anything. So I spent a little bit longer in the like prologue part of it, the real prologue.
Same.
But by the time the Gomage happens, I was like, why do I feel weirdly connected to these people already? Like, why did that scene make me sad? It actually, it got an emotional response on me.
It evokes an emotion out of you. That's like impressive.
Yes,
from a storytelling perspective. Yep.
And the Gomage is beautiful. Yeah,
and it was so fast. Yeah. It was so fast. It's not like you. It was not like you're 30 hours in and this happened.
No,
right?
Also, the music is another thing that makes this game one of the best I've ever played.
The score just adds to it like so much. If the music was not as good as it was, I think that would just take it down a whole tier.
I agree. I think that this game probably has the best music in a video game that I've ever played. I've been listening to it nonstop since I played it coming back from Japan. And I don't know if I've ever felt this way about a soundtrack for a game ever.
I want to go to the club and listen to Minoko's theme.
Minoko, yeah.
I want to listen to that in the club, bro.
Whoa.
Anyway, I actually played piano growing up for quite a long time. So this is like that. The soundtrack in that game is like the songs I always like aspired to play. Like that was like as a younger child, my motivation, because like I really hated just like learning piano because they just teach you all this stuff that's like so emotionless. But then like hearing soundtracks like that was like the stuff I always wanted to play when I was because I haven't played in forever, but when I did, that was like I wished because I was always looking at like Final Fantasy soundtracks and sheet music and stuff. Because like to Xanarkand, like Beautiful Peace.
Oh my god, that's one of my favorite songs in Final Fantasy.
Exactly.
You just hit the one song
with that,
right? To Xanarkand.
Oh shit.
So like when I was looking that stuff up, like I was teaching myself how to play stuff like that. And so like if Expedition 33 came out, like as I was still like playing, I would 100% be like trying to learn that because like I said, that was just the stuff I always wanted to play for people.
Yeah, because the Gomage starts off with piano too. It starts off when they first show the scene, you hear a piano, and it's such a sad little riff in the very beginning with the piano. It's really good.
Yeah,
that's as a quick side note to what you were just saying though. That's something that I wish I would like schools or whatever to catch up and like stop trying to be so archaic. When it comes to things like art as in any of the arts, drawing, painting, piano, music in general, like they so quickly want to like teach you the strict, rigid way of doing it. And it's like, let the kids be kids. Like let them have fun. Let them draw a picture of their favorite cloud or whatever, of their favorite character. And then like, after they love it, then you can teach them the fundamentals. But you're never going to get somebody interested on the fundamentals. Like it's boring.
No. Well, because it's almost like antithetical, right? Because it's like these are creative arts, but then they're trying to like put you in a box, right?
Yeah.
It's like two things at odds with each other. It doesn't really make sense.
It's very true, actually. Yeah. Well, you can tell who lacks no creativity when it comes to anything is the whole team who worked on Clair Obscur Expedition 33. That team is fucking insane. They nailed the graphics, the art style. They nailed the voice acting. They nailed the musical score, like the actual gameplay, the story, the plot, the character development, the tragedy. I mean, there are so many things about this game that I absolutely love. And the Gomage is just like the tip of the iceberg, like that very first one. That's just the very tip of the iceberg. And then it gets so much deeper. Like right after the Gomage, you guys embark on this expedition, literally Expedition 33. You guys embark on this expedition. And I'm thinking, they've been talking about it and how they have this Lumina converter now. And Gustav has developed all of this. And he has these students.
And now they hit you with Renoir.
Bro, the scene where you guys are like on the boat going to the island and like, it's happy-go-lucky. Like everyone's on the boat and it's like, it's sunny, it's beautiful. And you're thinking, okay, this is cool. I've seen this in Game of Thrones before. Like it usually always works out. Of course. They land on the shore. First of all, immediately when they landed on the shore, I'm staring at the screen. I was like, this looks bad. Like this already does not like there. And there was a black guy too in the expedition. And I was like, he has to know. He has to know this is some white people shit. We need to turn around immediately. Like he had to know, like, all right, I already want to leave, but I'm going to just stick it out for a little longer. The second they got on the dark shores, which I love that you eventually do get back to the area way later, but like when you first land on the dark shores and everyone's looking around and then you just hear this sound, boom, Boom. And you see this old dude. Now, you already kind of know, like my brain already kind of knew, oh, okay. So the 33 that she painted, like the 33 that she drew on the monolith or whatever, that has something to do with age. And what gave me that clue is that the one guy steps forward and he's like, you're old.
Yeah.
How are you old? And then as soon as he goes to ask another question, a fucking laser of light comes across his head. And bro, this is like, you can see my live reaction. If you guys go on the channel and go to our live streams, you can see, go to the very first Clair Obscur Expedition 33 like stream. You can see my face when that laser of light comes across the screen. When the guy asks you like, how are you old? I was like, oh my God. Like his head fucking just falls off his shoulder, bro. I was like, oh shit. And it's immediate fear and chaos. Like immediately, it's the exact type of shit that I love. Like you could see the visceral reaction of every person in the expedition, like, oh, we need to run. We need to run now. His fucking head just came off and the guy's not even close to us. Like, oh, I love that shit. It's so anime.
It's crazy how quickly they get into good storytelling here. And by good storytelling, I mean like right away, it's not like some grand narrative has happened yet to you. It's not like you've seen all these cool character arcs, etc. But to the point that we already made, how quickly they make you care about the Gomage and how quickly that has an emotional pull on your heartstrings, how quickly there is some level of intrigue with the expeditions and what's happening. And when you're all at the dock before you guys leave and you're talking to all the other people going on the expedition, and then there's some people saying like stuff about Expedition 32 and other people saying like, hey, we did better than we have more people than Expedition 34. And then you land on the shore. How fast you're able as the viewer, as the consumer of this art, how fast you're able to see an old man and recognize immediately, because even before they point out the fact that he's an old man, you as the consumer are like, holy shit, that's an old man.
Right.
How is there an old man here? And then you're already so into the world and like interested in what they're telling you subtly. And then you're immediately met with like pure chaos. Yeah. And it's just, it throws you for a loop. It's like Saving Private Ryan when they're storming the beach.
Is.
It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Like, even the camera. Normandy. It does look like the storming of Normandy. The camera angle is very chaotic. I actually love the way they shot the battlefield. When you see people are dying, there's also creatures, and you hear the sounds, these guttering sounds of bodies being snatched and crunched, and you hear these like ghost-like haunting sounds. Just these things that make you fucking nightmare fuel, bro. Like actual nightmare fuel sounds. And people are getting snatched up as they're running away. Like you see someone running and you just see a hand grab them and yank them into like a darkness. You don't even know. And then the old guy is nowhere to be found. The guy who started this shit, he's not even around anymore. You don't even know where he is. God. It's that opening scene, and then Gustav is like stumbling around, he's bumping into people, and it has that kind of Thanos feeling where when Thanos did the snap at the end of Infinity War, you remember like everyone turns to dust or whatever, and you have characters like kind of stumbling around, like Iron Man stumbling around, and people are just like fading off into nothingness. It has that exact same vibe of, oh, people are dying and there's nothing I can do about it. And I'm looking at Gustav like, okay, so is this not the main character? Because I feel like he's about to die. I'm like, how is he going to get out of this? In my head,
we'll get to that later.
Well, they Game of Thrones me because he is really a Ned Stark. He literally is a Ned Stark character.
He's a Ned Stark. Yep.
I was like, oh, he's a righteous person. He's beloved. He seems like a person that does the right thing often. He also takes accountability for his wrongs. Like he admits,
he did.
and then he did. So it's just
he's so cool. Just his voice, because every character in this game, as you find out, at this point, you don't really know this yet, but as you go on, every character in this game has very unique mechanics that utilize the combat, etc. Yes. And so he has his own unique combat mechanic, right? That's all designed for him. And then in addition to that, he's a great character. He's got all, for those who come after, like when he does his shit. Lines. I mean, I know that's just like all the expeditioners say that, but he's the one that says it like as his battle voice lines and shit. Like,
tomorrow comes.
I was in love with Gustav. He is one of my favorite fucking characters. So, fast forward, when we get to end of Act 1, I am devastated.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's funny that Frazier's talking about like his reactions to all this, because now you know why Brittany and I like joined frame 1 of your stream, like when
instant.
you actually started, because our favorite activity post us playing the game is getting people to play it and then watching them play it, because it's like we get to relive the first time we had reactions to the game, like through your reaction. And so like it's not just you, there are multiple other people we sold on the game, and again, similar thing, just like seeing their reactions, it was so fun, because it's like that's how we felt. And but it's like it's one of those things where it's like, if you know, you
can't be prepared for this game at all. There's no way. If you don't get spoiled, this is one of the most surprising games I've ever played. And honestly, what's weird about it, usually a game, if they want to do a little surprise or a plot twist or something like that, they'll do like one big one and that's it. I feel like this entire game is a plot twist.
It's a mind fuck. Especially end of Act 2.
Yes, bro.
That's all it takes.
It's crazy that you say that, though, because the whole game, just to what both of your points are, Cimo and Frazier, the whole game has excellent writing that sets you up, puts you on the path, and then it does a plot twist that doesn't feel like an ass pull bad writing plot twist. It feels like, oh, shit. And then, like, it's like you're walking in a tunnel, and then all of a sudden you're outside the tunnel, and you feel like I'm outside the tunnel. You don't realize you're still in a tunnel.
Right.
And you keep walking, you go, oh my God, I'm still in the tunnel.
Right.
And you're like, what the fuck is going on? Because you get the prologue that sets you up, and then Gommage. And then you get, you get the Dark Beach, and then you're like, oh my God, what the fuck is happening? Does Gustav want to die? Act 1. Then you get the end of Act 1, Gustav dies. And then you go through, and now you're like in Act 2, which is like, okay, now I'm in the real game.
Yeah.
You get to the end of Act 2, and if you're familiar with like theater, if you're not familiar with the theater, then maybe this doesn't occur to you. But if you're familiar with theater, I'm getting towards the end of Act 2, and I'm like, I feel like the game's over.
Same.
Like, this is the end of the game. But I know that when things are Act 1, Act 2, I know there's an Act 3.
Always.
So, like, unless they just named, unless prologue is really Act 1, so I'm really confused. I'm like, the game's over. Like, I'm at the end of the game,
right?
But I haven't done Act 3
especially because
yet.
you just had that big fight with Renoir too, right?
And the paint
on top of it,
So, and then Act 2 ends, and you're like, oh, the game's over. Shit keeps happening. What the fuck is going on? And then, like, and then you go into more shit, and then you finally get to Act 3, and it's like, there's even more stuff that happens as the quickest overview of the game ever. But the entire game leads you through a tunnel. You get out of the tunnel. Oh my God, I can't believe I was just in a tunnel. Only for you to realize you're still in a tunnel. And you're like, what the fuck? And they keep tricking you.
It's definitely some Inception level shit.
It's great every time.
Yeah, none of it feels like an ass pull. It's all intentional. And what I love about it is that we're not coming in at the beginning of a story. We're coming in the middle of a story that is already completely functional without our intervention. Like, Expedition 33 is literally, for all intents and purposes, as you're playing through it, is just another expedition, honestly. Like, you are in the middle of a world that has completely lived through this already. They've experienced sending people off to expeditions. They experienced Gommages. You as the viewer, as the player, you're just watching what they are normally accustomed to for the last, 67 years, right? Because it's fucking 33 and it started off Expedition 100, which is Expedition 00. So like, you're literally coming in towards the end of something that has been happening every single year like clockwork. It's a very normal thing for these people. It's not some like beginning of, you're not Expedition 0, you're Expedition 33. Like, it's actually insane how well it feels like you're in the middle, and you get that constantly throughout the game where you can kind of tell they're not trying to tell you the story in a way that's like, okay, we're going to have to shoehorn plot into it. It's like, no, just pay attention and the story's unfolding in front of you, but like, we're not going to be like, and by the way, this is how this works. It's just like, no, things just kind of happen and they talk about it as normal people. They're having conversations with each other, not with you.
Right.
I know what's interesting? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, Cimo, you're the special guest.
Okay, fair. What I was going to say is, as we've been talking about the Gommage and the beginning of, the game when you first get to the shores and all hell breaks loose, things like that. And then even later on, when you start getting to like Gustav's suicide potential scene.
Oh my God.
Different things like that.
Oh my Lord. Yes, I forgot about that.
The one thing that I love about this game is that it's not afraid to touch on mature subjects.
Yes.
And I think this is something where JRPGs specifically are falling behind, is that the demographic for these types of games is shifting older. Like we are not teenagers anymore.
Correct.
Like a lot of us are fully grown adults that are playing this game.
Yep.
And JRPGs just have this tendency to kind of be like PG-13 and be like kind of lighthearted and don't really go onto the subjects of like suicide or sex or death and all these different types of like more mature, deep subjects that like as you like are more mature that you start to like, you know, kind of wrap your head around. And I appreciate that because it's like that feels more real to me. It doesn't feel as like synthetic as some of like the JRPGs that like don't touch on those subjects, right? And it's like you might argue that that doesn't actually add that much to the world building. I think it does. I think it just makes it feel like because there's the stuff with like CL wanting to drown herself and then
losing a child.
SKA saved her, because she lost her husband and like all that stuff. And then there's like, you know, you have like the romantic relationship like between some of the characters by the end of the game and stuff like that. And so I don't know, like it makes the world feel more organic and it makes it feel like we are the intended audience for this game because it's not very hand-holdy in the sense of like, oh, we're just gonna like tiptoe around some of these other things we don't really want to talk about. And I think that's just I hope more games take note of that, to be honest, because I think it's definitely severely lacking for a lot of games.
This game had an effect on the industry. I agree with everything you just said. It very clearly made a splash in multiple avenues. It's not just the gameplay. It's not just the story. It's not just the music. It's not just the direction, the art style. It was every aspect of this game made a splash and in a big way. And the game's what, $30, $40? Like
40. I think it's 40.
It's like the fact that it's, you know, an indie game, all things considered.
I would pay 100 for that game.
I was just about to say, I would literally
I
pay
would
double.
pay 100, but like I would pay double for that game. I cannot think of a single game that I would say that about.
If you literally could erase my brain of Clair Obscur completely and make me pay double to experience it again, like I have to pay double to erase my brain and play it from the start again without any knowledge of what's going to happen again, I would do it right now. Like if you were like $80 right now, your brain loses any memory of Clair Obscur, play it from the beginning, I would do it right now, no question. Sign me up.
I want to talk about this CL real quick just because you mentioned her. I fucking love everything. So the first time you see CL when you don't know her name and everybody else, when you see them like on the dock before you guys ship off. I remember seeing that character, be like, oh man, she looks so cool. Like she's got scars and shit. You know what I mean? I'm an anime fan. I just see scars and cool looking girl. I'm
she's
like,
a tomboy.
She looks cool as shit, right?
She did.
And then so she's really cool. And then like you crash. Also, the first time you see Lune, I thought she looked really cool. She's like playing music.
Amazing.
I just kept saying Lune's Brittany the whole time.
Yeah, she looks like your wife a lot. When I first started playing the game,
when you have the long hair, it does. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah, I definitely got that vibe. I was like, interesting. Okay.
But yeah, the whole story, like every little micro story in this game. The thing with CL, when you finally get her back on your party and things happen, and then she's having these conversations with Verso, and they're talking about stuff, and they're talking about telling more meaningful stories to each other, and then they talk about scars and everything like that. All of these things happen, and then the very first time she meets SKA, and she's like, I feel like I know, like, what do you mean? Like, you said something to me, like, we know each other, but like, I don't remember.
He said, how you doing, my little swimmer friend?
Yeah, literally.
She's like, what are you talking?
And we already know that she does not like water. Yeah, so this whole thing about my little swimmer friend is really strange because it's a subtle line. It's just a quick thing that he just says to her. Like
super subtle.
It's super subtle. He calls her his little swimmer friend, but he says a lot of nonsense, or at least we think at the time. And so it's like, okay, and she's like, what are you talking about? I don't swim. I'm not a water person. Man.
And then, you know what, even in gameplay, like the game has, like, you end up going to these gestural beaches. I remember I go to and I do this fun little platforming challenge, and I get a swimsuit for Lune. And I was like, oh shit. I'm like, they got my girl in a swimsuit.
Yeah.
And then so immediately I'm like, I'm gonna go find another beach.
Yeah.
And I think, because I did the challenge with Lune. So I'm thinking, oh, because I was using Lune, they gave me Lune's swimsuit. So then I go and I do another gestural challenge. I'm like, I'm doing it with CL because I want CL's swimsuit, right? Not even really thinking about the fact that the game's already established that she doesn't swim. So it's so cool because like I do that. I end up getting like a Minoko swimsuit. Yeah, and I'm like, this game hates me.
Yeah.
I'm like, this game hates me.
It's like a Speedo. It's so funny.
Like, how'd that happen? And then you don't get CL swimsuit until like, because it's like, I know we're talking about like fucking swimsuits, but the fact that the game doesn't give you her swimsuit until you complete a storyline with her and Verso, where he teaches her how to swim again. And then amongst all these other things, and you find out the information with her and SKA And you see the scar, because at some point I see the scar on her because they talk about it. And I'm like, I'm so interested in what that scar. I at no point have even considered the fact that it was because she was pregnant, right? Like it never even popped in my head.
Not even close.
And then you get the whole story. You get the thing with her husband that died, and she tries to drown and kill herself. And then she didn't even know she was pregnant. And then that's why she has the scar on her stomach. And then, SKA saves her. And then I think Verso's the one that says it, but like SKA's role in the world is to find people that are depressed and like bring them happiness or whatever. And like that's how he found her. And like, and then you see SKA's whole personality and like this new light about like what his role is in the world and how happy he is and the things he does for others. There is so much just wrapped around that little thing with CL, who I just thought was cool looking girl with scars. And then it's like, oh, that's a whole story.
I actually like how every character has very, very defined characteristics. So Lune, because we just talked about CL a lot, and CL has this depression from losing her husband, which causes her to try to kill herself. And the same kind of thing happens with Gustav in the beginning of the game. There's this despair after losing his whole expedition. He doesn't know if anyone really survived. So he pulls out his gun and he puts it up to his head. And we're watching this as we're playing this fucking game that we've been playing at this point probably for like an hour. And this guy...
It's like an hour. It might even be less.
It might be less than an hour, honestly.
It happens fast. It happens fast.
The guy you think is the main character puts the gun up to his head. And I'm like, I moved into the back of my seat. I was like, oh no, not this. Like not on YouTube right now. Like, please don't do this. I'm not ready for this. Yeah, I was like, I am so not ready for this. You have all this despair. And then Lune seemingly is this well put together, stoic ass character who's all logic based, emotionless, the mission. She gets into this huge fight with Gustav when they get to the tree. And he's like, I'm going to go look for the rest of the people. She's like, no, the instructions were we stay here and we wait. And that was what we were supposed to do. We've been training for years for this. We do not go off and do our own thing. This is what it says. And you're breaking the law right now. And he's like, listen, I'm going to tell you just like this. I'm going and you can stay here and uphold the law. I'm going to go out and find other people who may have survived. And then she's like thinking about it. Then she obviously comes with him, but he just gives it to her straight. Like, you can do the book. She's like, the book says this. The book says that. He's like, you can play by the book all the fuck you want. I'm leaving. I'm not staying here any longer. This isn't solving anything. We're not going to meet any survivors here because they're scattered. Like, we fucking got decimated on the beaches. So all this debate about mission. And I just love that very, like Cimo said earlier, the characters seem real. This is a real argument that I could see me having with a friend or a colleague.
I was about to say, I feel like this is a Frazier argument.
It is, because I am a very like type A, controlling, bossy type of person. I'm a Lune kind
of. I'm gonna go over here. You do whatever the fuck you want.
Like, I'm a Lune style person, but I'm also, it's weird, I'm also a Gustav kind of person where, like, at the end of the day, when I make my mind up, I'm gonna do what I want to do. But I'm also like, this is what should be done. You can see both
sides of the argument.
I can see both sides. So when I was like, yo, and I visibly laughed when they had that thing, and Gustav was like, you can stay here and uphold the law, and I'm going to go and find, you can report me whenever we get back, which has never happened before, by the way. No one's come back besides Expedition fucking Zero. So, like, the whole, like, you're going to tell them, what are you going to do? What law am I breaking? Who are you going to tell? He just, like, leaves. I love the despair that is built into every character. In Lune's, since we were, like, breaking down characters, Lune's despair, you don't fully understand for a while because she, again, doesn't show emotion until very later in the game when you start to face the Axons.
Yeah.
Right. You start to face the Axons and you start hearing stories about how her parents literally only conceived her because they wanted an apprentice and they didn't want an apprentice that had to go home. So they just created one that they could literally carry on their mission and instill all of their information into, basically like a memory card. She was basically created as a memory card for all their data because they were researchers, they were scientists. They were really smart people, but they went on their own expedition and they never came back, obviously, like every other expedition. So her whole life, she never had a real childhood. She never was allowed to really pursue like things that normal children, she wasn't able to grow up normal at all because her parents forced her learn every law, learn everything about the expeditions that have come before, you know, we eventually are going to go out as your parents. They just made her into like this robotic ass person that wasn't allowed to experience emotion, wasn't allowed to show emotion, wasn't allowed to be a real person. Basically, she's essentially a robot. And everything about her is like,
because she was Asian. I mean, that you know, Asian parents are like.
And I love that they even programmed that into the game. Like, she's blatantly Asian, and that is a thing about.
I mean, it was a joke, but I mean, it's kind of true.
But it is. So Gary, one of our best friends, and honestly, all of my Asian friends tell me, yeah, Asian parents are extremely strict. This is like a real thing that Asian people have told me about. Their parents are very strict, especially when it comes to academics. Lune is a scholar. She's very clearly super smart. Like, she's the smartest person on the fucking team by far. It's not even close.
Oh, sure.
She's extremely smart. But she's like all about, this is how you do this, super controlling, super bossy, and super inquisitive. And this doesn't appear to be that big of a problem at first, but then over time you realize that, like, she has her own trauma that she hasn't quite gotten over because her parents disappeared, never came back, and she feels like she has to carry on this mission and she doesn't want to let them down. So she's forever living under the thumb of her parents, which you don't even find out until Act 3 when you finally go.
And it's a side mission.
It's a side mission.
It's a side mission.
And they tell you that her mother fought for 4 days.
I think that is, if anything, if I'm going to make a critique of this game, which is very hard to do, if I'm going to make a critique, there is so much side content that I felt like should have been like part of the main story, that if you, as soon as Act 2 is over and Act 3 starts, if you go straight to Old Lumiere and like finish the game, you miss out on so much shit. It is unbelievable how much you miss out on, because there's all the Lune shit. There, for each character, basically,
there's
you're missing out on the whole arc.
Mael,
there's
Alicia.
the Clair shit.
Yes. Oh my god.
It just keeps going, right? Like, there is so much that you miss out on so much. And I think, like, I remember like asking myself as I like, because Brittany and I both played, like, we were kind of alternating playing our separate accounts. Yeah. And I remember, like, because I got to kind of see stuff multiple times, so I had time to think about it. I'm like, why is this not part of the main story? Like, why was this optional content? Like,
you know what it is?
Did they think it was too much? Like, I can't fathom, but
I think you hit the nail on the head, Cimo, earlier when you said that this game is made for mature audiences. They expect
maybe they're respectful of people's time.
You and Kenny are the targeted demographic, because all of us, when we got to Act 3, stopped for a second and said, I'm actually going to go and explore every nook and cranny of this fucking world, because by that point, you love it already.
Maybe it was intentional. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I think it works in a way where, because the game has a ton of optional content. And what I love about it, because, you know, we're all gamers, we've played a lot of games. There's a lot of times where games might have a lot of optional content, but it feels hollow. Like, you do the optional content, but it's just content for content's sake. There's not really anything there other than gameplay, right? Which in its own right can be really cool. But all of this optional content had story significance. Yeah. And so it's like
a lot.
On one end, it's like, why isn't this part of the... Because I found myself multiple times saying, I can't believe I'm in an optional dungeon right now.
Yeah,
like, multiple times I found myself saying that. But what's so cool about that,
when you do the fucking the tower with Clea at the end, I'm like, hello? Like, dude, what? This is optional? Like, what?
There is so much, but what's cool about that is it gives you the opportunity to explore do optional shit, and then for that optional shit to have these great fucking rewards in just like, this is awesome.
In the story content. Yeah, not even just like a weapon upgrade or something, but just like you get to learn more about the story. So maybe we just all got bamboozled because the game was so good that we're like, I mean, granted, I mean, some of us are typically the type that like will always just do all the side content anyway.
Exactly.
But if the game is good, then you're motivated intrinsically to do the optional content without them having to like force it down your throat. Maybe we just all fell in for we all drank the Kool-Aid, I guess.
Go ahead, Kenny.
Good Kool-Aid. And also, and once again, there's definitely people that just like go point A to point B, C all the way to Z. And then so like for them, they probably still love the game. They didn't get to see all the stuff we saw, but they also don't care. And they're just like, oh my God, that game was great. And then they're done it. And they're like, it didn't waste. I beat it in 20 hours. They're like, oh, it didn't waste my time. I was able to just go beat the game. And like they were still able to love the game.
Sure.
Yeah. I think the way the side content fills in so many gaps and answers all the questions that you could possibly have. Honestly, this is one of those games that starts off with so much mystery and mystique about it. And then by the time you're done, if you actually explored Act 3 really well, like you really scrubbed Act 3 the way you were supposed to, the way it was designed, by the end of it, I'm like, damn, I now have a full picture, which, you know, is kind of funny because pictures, painting, all that stuff. You have a full picture now after you choose to go to every nook and cranny of the canvas. And that is brilliant to me. I think that is intentional. And I think it does go back to the whole mature audiences thing, like the suicide stuff that they mentioned with multiple characters. Verso tries to kill himself multiple times. Ciel tries to kill herself, unintentionally kills her unborn child. Gustav tries to kill himself in the first 40 minutes. Like, this is a common theme throughout the game, is people trying to take their own life from despair. Despair is a really real human condition. It is a real thing that real people go through every single day. But like you said, JRPGs usually shy away from things that are that dark, because they want the main characters to be they always get back up and fight. They never give up. They never have a bad moment.
Very
they never have a moment.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Very shonen. Like, it's always believe it. It's never, I want to end it. I don't want to do this anymore. I actually want to give up. And I'm not talking about give up on my mission. I'm talking about give up on life. That is a thing that real people go through. And so it's interesting to see a video game not only depict that, but do it in a way that genuinely feels real. If I lost all my friends as soon as we landed frame 1 on our mission, if everyone around me started dying, a true hero, Gary, Kenny, everybody just like dying around me, there's a high chance that after that happens, I'm like, I don't even want to continue, because I'm afraid of dying myself to some horrific death if I move forward. I kind of just want to take it on my own hands. Like, just do it now, get it over with, end my misery, because it's misery is despair. It's really visceral, the things that they depict in this game, and I love how honest it is about the human condition. Like, it's a real thing.
I mean, I want to quickly circle back to what you were saying about like just the different characters as well, because you have Lune being this, like you said, like very logic based person, all that stuff, and then in contrast to that, you have like Mael, who's like the complete fucking opposite, where she's just like this like naive, young, innocent, emotional character,
super emotional,
right? Yeah, but like she's also very young, so like that's understandable, right? I think she's still a teenager technically.
I think she's 16
or 19 or something, or something like that. She's very young. She's very young, right? So you have that, and so it's like each character is just so unique in their own way that they don't feel like they're kind of like walking on each other's toes. Like their personalities are so distinct. They each have their own beliefs, and it's just it all just God.
And they argue with each other, and there's like real arguments.
Right, like when they're like you mentioned the axons, right? There's that whole scene where they're literally like arguing. Like Verso's like, no, we will get fucking railed.
Yes.
We cannot go to the axons. And then Ciel's like, all right, we're taking on the biggest one first. Right? You know what I mean? And Lune's like, being all calculating and everything like that. Like that was like a very interesting scene, because everyone, and then like Mael was also like the beacon of hope, right? So like they each had their own perspectives about this one issue before you take on the axons. And I think that's just like very indicative of like each of their personalities, which was like, I think it was a really good scene for that reason.
And they had very clear personality traits without ever feeling like they were tropes of a character.
Yes.
Like
right, exactly.
They
very
felt
so.
like who they were. They had personality. They were real people, but it never devolved. Like this is a big complaint I have for Fire Emblem Fates. So I'm a huge Fire Emblem fan. I've played every single Fire Emblem game. I think most of them are done really well. Fire Emblem Fates specifically, all of the characters are literally just like, here's a trope, and that character is this trope. It's just like character trope the game. Each character is just defined by like a trope.
And you've seen all of these tropes before, so they're kind of boring too.
And they're just that trope to the most insane anime degree. And so, Fates is largely considered the worst Fire Emblem game in terms of writing. So, F that game. But this game, each character has very defined personality traits.
And layers.
And they never feel like, oh, they are a trope of a character. They are just like this thing. They feel like real people.
Yeah, because even Lune, who's one of my favorite characters, by the way, I love her so much. But I also was like, man, she's kind of a bitch. Like, not to be harsh, but that is because like
that's why she's Brittany.
Because they say it takes one to know one. And I know to a lot of my friends, they're like, "You are such a bitch." Like I know how my friends. Sometimes I get into these moods or these modes. Like Kenny, when he recommended me Slay the Spire, right? He was like, "This is a game that I want you to play." Okay, he was like, he simply just wanted me to play it. He's like, it's a card game, but it's a roguelike game. I just want you to try it.
Sure.
We're gonna make content out of it, whatever. And I was like, so bitchy about the entire thing going into it. I'm like, oh, I hate new games. I don't think I'm gonna play this. Like, what even is this?
Bro,
What's Slay the Spire?
He was letting me have it.
It sounds so dumb.
I just wanted my friend to play a game that I knew he would love.
He knew I would love it because he knows me. Obviously, we fucking knew each other for 15 years at this point. And he's like, I just want you to try this game. I've been playing it for a while. Stango loves it. He loves it. He just wants to share something that is great with me. And I'm just like, oh, fucking Slay the Spire. What is this bullshit? Like, why do you want me to play this? 2 hours into Slay the Spire, I'm like, Kenny, this is the best game I've ever played in my life. Like, what the fuck? How could you hold this from me for this long?
Wait, dude, the first time we played too, and we've talked about this multiple times. So as he's playing it, he's in the worst pissy, bitchy mood
That's what I mean.
of all time.
I'm literally Lune.
It's pretty brutal. And we get like an hour and a half to 2 hours in. And as that time is going on, like there's starting to be cracks in the armor to the point where we're near the end of the run and he's just fully having fun. Like he's just fully like having fun. But there's 2 hours of him being the pissiest, bitchiest person on the planet.
For no reason, by the way. For like, no, he didn't do anything to me. Like he didn't do anything to me. I just decided that day I was gonna PMS, and he just happened to be there. Like so when I call Lune a bitch, just know this is coming from a gay man who means no. It's not. I'm not using it in a harsh way. I'm just saying I identify with Lune's character because I know those characteristics and I see myself in her. Pause. She is amazing as a character because you don't understand why she's like this until they very late in the game.
Yeah.
Explain
like
it to you.
late in the game.
And going back to the Axon thing we were talking about, I also love the writer's intention with making CL and Lune be the ones who take down the different Axons for different reasons. Lune ends up taking down the Axon that can control people's minds and their emotions. It shows people things that they want to see, and it manipulates them and gets them to do horrible things that ends up ending their lives and ending their expedition. The Siren is one of the most all 4 Axons are ridiculous, but only 3 of them are around when you are playing the game. One of them is already dead, and the 3 that are still around, you face off against them. When you face against Siren, the other characters are being fucking manipulated by Siren's song. Like they're completely about to fail. Lune steps up because she's known to be this person whose emotions don't get in the way. And she literally just starts charging this fucking huge energy ball. And the Siren thing lifts her up, trying to like, finesse her like it did everybody else. It doesn't work. And she just fires off this huge energy wave and like beats the Axon, which at the time is like, okay, that's cool as shit. Lune's a boss. She beats the Axon. Later on it's revealed her parents died fighting this exact Axon. Like they were fighting a Nevron right around Siren. They were going to Siren, but they all heard the song. And then when you hear the journal, the person who's writing the journal is like, Lune's mom fought it for 4 days. She gave everybody enough time.
Oh my God.
She gave everybody enough time to get away. But unfortunately, the song was so powerful, whatever, that it was to no avail. Like we all ended up, we're all going to perish anyway, but she fought it for 4 days before it gave her a really bad gash. And she eventually went down. So her parents like are insane. They went down fighting, and like there's this epic story that you don't find out until Act 3 after you've already beat, like Lune's already beat Siren, and then you found out that her mom. It's an amazing fucking, like the way they just build everything. These little nuggets,
the way they weave it all together.
Yes,
in order for them to fight the Nevron that killed her parents, if I remember correctly, in Act 3, you go to a place, and isn't there like a door that's sealed by the expeditions? In a way, and the only person that can open it is Lune. In a way that like her mom taught her, and then like on one end, I remember feeling like, oh my God, that's so fucking cool, because like this is like her hand to get down to her daughter or whatever, and her daughter finishing the journey. But then on the other end, it was like kind of sad, because once again, Lune just felt like, I'm just a mission, I'm just a tool to my parents, and like she obviously loves her parents, but then at the same time, she's like, this is just more of them knowing that I'm their tool, and that like I'm going to finish the job, and they knew I would finish the job. So on one end, it's like, it's really cool because they had faith in their daughter that she would finish their job, but on the other end, it is still kind of sad. Like it's like
they took her childhood, they took her took her sense of identity, like who she normally would be, because she does love music. She had no time to really truly pursue that passion or anything like that. She had to always focus on academics and her scholarly studies and her research. She's always about that stuff. She didn't get the chance to just be a regular person. She had to be focused on living this life for the sake of her parents' mission.
Can I say something real quick before I forget? Because something else I just wanted to mention, just in terms of like this game being written in a way that alludes to real life, that I wanted to say earlier that I forgot, and then I remembered again, so I don't want to forget again. Something else. This is never stated in the game ever. This is me reading into it. So it could just be me like making shit up. But like something else that I think is cool is, imagine during the time when the paintress wrote on the monolith, imagine when it said 93, right? Most people probably didn't live that long anyway. I could see, if you alluded to real life, I'm going to use global warming as an example. Whether or not you believe in global warming is not the point here. But if you alluded to real life, things where it's like, there's things that happen in real life that we know could be a problem down the line. But for the most part, people are like, that's so far away. That's not even part of my life. I don't really care. I can imagine, right? When everybody gomages and dies at the age of 93, most people might not even care. because they're just going to live their whole life. 93. I'm not.
I mean, it's kind of like now, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
I mean, no one really. I think that most people feel that way, like without a gomage, right?
Yeah, like you're not going to live to that long, even when it's 80. A lot of people might not live to be 80.
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
So just imagine how different the world was. Even though everybody knows there's a guaranteed death date, right? There's probably a lot of people at that time. Just think about how different life. But then when it starts being 40. Imagine you're growing up and you're like, bro, I'm guaranteed to die when I'm 40 years old.
No, you're not. If it's at 40 and you're acknowledging it, by the time you get to 30, you're already about to...
If you do the math, yeah.
So I want to speak on this real quick to interject. One of the things that caught me off guard is exactly what Kenny just said. And it's an accident that I made when I was playing the game. I was like, oh, okay, so I live until 33. And then, I don't know when it happened, but it took me a while to realize, like, wait a second. No, I don't. If I'm born now... and I'm aging up, the fucking number's coming down at the same time. So while I am 1 year old, the 33 becomes 32, and I become 2 years old. Then it becomes, I'm 3 years old, it becomes 31.
Bad.
Yo,
you divide it by 2.
Yeah, by the time I'm 15, that's it. There are no more children. And you realize that 33 is significant because we're at a crisis point now. Like, new children born from the 33-year-olds are not going to be adults. If you have a kid,
I did the math at one point, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but like Mael, let's say nothing changes. Mael would die when she's like 21 or something. She would die because she's 16 and it's at 33, and so blah blah blah. I don't remember what the math is, but she would die at like early 20s.
Yeah,
it's like
you're 100% right.
Shit.
Yep.
Yeah, it's actually absurd when you think about what's actually happening when you start. So to your point, when it was at 93, people having children still, they're still going to have very full lives. If it's at 93 when you have a child, right? They're going to live a full life for the most part. They're going to live a full life. But then by the time we start the game, in fact, the reason Gustav and Sophie broke up is because she did not want to have children. This is a reveal as well. The reason why they did not work out, because when the game first starts, you don't fully grasp why they were a couple in the past. You don't understand why they broke up. And it's revealed later on, just randomly, like they have a conversation and Gustav's like, she wanted to have children. No, I wanted to have children. She did not want to bring a child into this world. And that's where we differed at. Like that was a big thing. Again, going back to the mature thing. I don't think a 14-year-old playing Clair Obscur, no offense, I don't think they can really grasp.
Oh, no.
They can't really grasp how the gravity of like bearing a child, making a family, something that 30-year-old couples and older 20-year-old couples have these conversations when life starts getting serious after the teenage years. And you start saying, especially for women who have a clock, you start saying to yourself, at some point, I do want to have children or not. And that's a real big conversation that breaks people up. In real life, people don't go forward in their relationship with someone that they love. He loves Sophie. You can tell. Like, that's a real thing.
I don't remember what game or anime or movie, whatever, that me and Frazier were talking about. But what you just pointed on is something we said before, in that, like, when you and me were 16 and playing game, like, there's things that hit us emotionally right now that when we were 16, we probably would have like, oh, that's gay.
Yep.
Like, that would have been our response. Like, oh, that's gay. Who cares? But, like, as adults, you're like, holy shit. And it hits you emotionally in a way that it won't hit a teenager.
Yeah, right. It just won't. Like the whole thing. Yeah. So when you find out later on that, oh shit, the reason they broke up is because like she did not want to bring a child into a world where they were going to not raise it. That is, she did not want to bring orphan children into the world. And that is a very, it's sad. I get it from both perspectives because Gustav's whole thing is like, for those who come after. He's optimistic.
Right. Well, and that's like with his apprentices and stuff too. That's like, those are like his kids, right?
Yes. And so he's very optimistic about the future. And he believes in like, creating more people, even though the world is dystopian as hell and it's going to die out. Because realistically, when the game starts, also, you don't understand at first, but you kind of get it really quickly. They've been failing these expeditions. Like, these have not been successful. So in theory, this expedition is about to be the same as the last 60. Like, it's about to be the same as the last however many, because I know they stopped doing the expeditions for like 15 years. I think there was like a 15-year break after Expedition 0 where there's no expedition and then it starts again at 85 and then it goes from there. So like there's a period where there's no expeditions happening. And then go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't mean to cut you off, but I just want to make this one point. The fact that the save points are the flags for how far the previous expeditions got.
Oh my God.
Come on. Like, I mean, the fact that like even that is baked into the game, like most other games, it's like your save point is like a fucking crystal or a campfire.
I just was playing Final Fantasy X. It's literally a crystal orb.
It's literally that, right? And it's like, okay, sure, that's fine, whatever. But like for this game specifically, the fact that they even just like weaved that something so small and insignificant as a save point into the lore of the game to make it just like feel not just like like just it's there just so you have a save point, right?
Right,
it's like
right.
Even something simple as that is like that attention to detail is just it's unmatched.
The save points are significant too because they literally are where our expedition staked a flag. Like they like know that an expedition made it to this point. So whatever Nevrons you fought that were tough, whatever you experienced in this area, they also likely experienced the exact same thing and they beat it to put this flag in the ground so that way for those who come after, Expedition 67, we made it here.
And then there's so many things to branch off of Cimo's point. One, I love when you're seeing expedition flags and you're like, oh, Expedition 53 or whatever. And then you get to a point where you see some crazy shit and then you get a journal, like you see this giant fucking wheel crashed in the water somewhere.
Yeah.
Then you get a journal and then it's for the expedition that the flags are there and you see this wheel and it's like there was an expedition whose idea was build a giant fucking wheel and drive this wheel as far as you can. And they talk about how successful it was, what went right, what went wrong, and how they failed. And then you get to places where the flags are Expedition 00 and you're like, oh, I'm into crazy. I'm in a crazy place right now. The fact that I'm here is crazy. And then I remember late in the game, I would go into a absolutely insane place, and the expedition flag, I can't remember. I forget which one it was, but I remember it was like 42 or something, like some random number. And I was like, I'm in the most insane place I've ever been in. And I expected the expedition flag to just say 0.
Yep.
But I was like, I can't wait to find the journal that explains how the fuck they got here.
First of all.
And then also the greatest shit, you get the end of Act 2, and then we stake the Expedition 33 flag where we beat the Paintress. Bro, this game is insane.
Bro, you want to talk about
crazy.
You want to talk about the most insane shit with the expedition flags and like the journals. When you get Expedition Journal 69, and randomly they talk about how they're the ones who actually built all of the things that you've been climbing on the entire game. But fucking every time you traverse an area and you climb, come to find out Expedition 69 specifically is the ones who literally set that up. Like they're the ones who literally put every single one of those things into cliffs so that you can traverse the area. It's 69 who did that. That like when you finally find that out, you've been using them all game by this point, and it's just like, bro, that is so nuts to know that literally for those who come after is a very real thing.
You know what's so cool about that is, so I want to 100% this game. I played it for maybe 80 to, I don't remember exactly when I played it.
I don't know.
Let's say
either,
it was 80 hours.
A lot.
Somewhere between 80 and 100. But I still didn't 100% it. There's stuff that I didn't get a chance to do.
Same.
After I did copious amounts of side content before before fighting the final boss.
Same.
But I still didn't do everything. And I at some point going to go back and do it. I think I found almost every journal. That said, I don't think I found that journal. But what's funny is I still knew that happened because at the very start of the game, the first time Gustav goes on one of those things, I don't remember which expedition he says, but he goes, oh, these were put here by the Climbers expedition.
Yeah.
And he explains that. And like there's parts where Gustav is so studied, not as methodical as Lune, but Gustav is so studied in the expeditions and what they did and for those that come after and what he wants to do. Yeah. So there's different expeditions. He's like, oh, the Climbers expedition set this up. So that the whole game, I was like, oh, this is so fucking cool. Like every time you see those, you know that the Climbers expedition was here.
Yep.
And they set these up so that even if they don't make it to the end, whoever comes after has an easier time doing this. And it's so fucking cool. All the you got go ahead.
So there's other expeditions, because I could talk about expeditions all day. There's the other expedition where, first of all, okay, let me back up. While you're playing the game, you'll randomly come across a graveyard of expeditioners. Like just a fucking
just
a straight up cemetery of dead bodies that are like their chroma is just trapped inside of their body. They look petrified, but they're all dead. And you just kind of see them on the ground, just sprawled out all over the place, right? And that is a disturbing sight, especially because sometimes I didn't notice it. Like I would be in an area. I remember, I think it's called it's like the Yellow Forest area. It's a Yellow Forest, and it's a side.
I got things to say about the Yellow Forest.
You don't even have to go there. Go ahead. You don't even have to go there. That is a completely optional place. I went there. The Yellow Harvest, I think it's called Yellow Harvest. When you go to Yellow Harvest, you get to a point where like it's a bunch of tents and they're all abandoned, and there's just a bunch of supplies and shit scattered out, and it's a flag somewhere. And then I'm walking around. I noticed I was like, wait, there's fucking dead bodies everywhere. Like there's dead bodies everywhere. To my point, you're in, I think, Esquia's cave or one of those places, and you come across a bunch of dead bodies again, and there's like these bright mushrooms like all over, like these
bright, I remember this one.
These bright purple mushrooms scattered throughout, and I'm looking at them like, okay, whatever. Then you find the journal and you read the journal and it says, well, everyone else is dead. And I'm about to go too, because apparently the fucking mushrooms that we decided to all try out are actually poisonous. They actually kill you when you eat them. So
for those who come after, don't eat these mushrooms.
Yeah, don't eat the mushrooms because we're all dying, and I'm going to eat them too. And as I write this, I'm going to eat some, and then I'm also going to... I was like, bro, that is insane that like an expedition literally died to just... And a lot of them too died to just random things like that.
Random shit.
Yeah.
Yep. Just random
completely
shit.
random
Shipwrecked.
On the note of... on two notes, the random grave sites of bodies and Yellow Harvest. First, to go all the way back to Gustav's like suicide scene, or attempted suicide. Once again, the game is beautiful. Then you get the dark beach, crazy shit happens, and then you wake up in the most beautiful landscape ever. You're just like in this really beautiful, pretty landscape, and you're walking around. And then all of a sudden, everything gets red and dark, and there are thousands of dead bodies everywhere. And that's where Gustav kind of like goes into shell shock, and he freaks out, and he's about to kill himself. And I remember being like, where the fuck am like crazy? Because the game will show you sheer darkness and then put you in the most beautiful landscape ever. And you almost, after 10, 15, 20 minutes, get lulled into like, this game's beautiful again before it goes, oh, by the way, I'm the darkest game you've ever played. Just a reminder. And then brings you back down. On the Yellow Harvest, I missed that place until Act 3. I don't know how I missed it, but I did not. In Act 3, when I'm just exploring the whole world like religiously, I end up going into the Yellow Harvest, and I go in and I fight this boss and I do all this shit. I'm like walking around, and as I keep exploring the place, there's more and more and more. I'm like, this place is huge.
It's huge. And Yellow Harvest is a full-on place.
And there's things happening in their story, and I'm like, yo, I can't believe this place is optional. Here's the craziest part. When I found the Yellow Harvest, I went in through the back door. Like, when I found it,
I know what you mean.
I found it through the back door with SKA's flight. I go into the back door. I fight like this monster at the top of the mountain. And then I fight like these creepy ass dolls that inflict blight on you or whatever.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
I continue to explore this whole place, and it's like I'm in there for I think hours exploring every nook and cranny.
Yellow
and
Harvest
like,
is huge.
Oh my god, there's more. There's more. There's more. And then I eventually realized, holy shit. I came in through the back door.
Yeah.
And then also, like, I was way stronger than
I was going to say, you very well could have died going in the back way, by the way.
Yeah. Dude, and that whole place was optional. To, like, Cimo's point ages ago. It's amazing. And when I found that place, it was, like, so much joy to me that I was like, oh, my God. This is a completely, like, I'm just getting extra content. Like, this is all purely optional. I never had to come here, and I'm just in love. Like, this just added 5 hours to my playtime for no reason.
You know what's crazy?
I think that's like, I think that's another like small criticism is that there's no mini map, and that really like bothers a lot of people.
I talked about it a lot.
There's no mini map to like kind of help you get your You have to like basically use the bearings of like your environment to figure out where you are.
Which I will say, I got lost a lot in this game. Like a lot. I got lost.
Well, like it's like if the game is good, it's not that big of a deal.
And it's kind of it kind of makes sense though. You don't know this continent.
You're an expeditioner.
You're an expeditioner, right?
The people of Lumiere
have you have a map.
Yeah, they haven't been here. This is literally unexplored territory.
Right.
For the people who are on this expedition. You haven't been.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. So, like, again, it's like I know people kind of criticize that, but I think that actually was an intentional decision.
It is. It has to be.
Like, it has to be, right? Because
I think it makes the game better, too.
Me too.
Like, I think it does. I genuinely think it does. Like, if the game isn't good, it would make it worse. But the game is good, so I think it actually enhanced the experience.
Right. It would be way worse if the game was actually not good.
And it's there's 2 points of that minimap thing. We all agree that the game is great, and so it makes it better because it makes, for various reasons, it makes you more involved. It's not, when you get lost, it's not that bad because you're enjoying everything that you're doing. Like, for example, I've never grinded a single time in this game. I just got stronger because I wanted to fight more. Like, no point did I say I'm grinding. I was like,
I never felt like I was grinding in that game.
I want to do more shit. So
I have. I grinded for Color of Lumina.
I knew you grinded.
Yeah, I grinded for Color of Lumina.
You power leveled for Color of Lumina. I remember this.
I grinded for Color of Lumina. As soon as I found enemies that like respawned and gave those to me, I was like, oh, okay. Well, it was the end of the game, but like I still grinded for that, and I grinded for the chroma catalyst things to upgrade your weapons.
I think like end game you grind a little bit for
right. Before end game, I did not stop.
It's like post end game.
Okay,
you've already beaten the game. It's like end game optional like Simon level shit.
Yeah, I didn't stop in Act 1 or Act 2 and was like, oh, I'm in the Forgotten Battlefield. Let me stay in the Forgotten Battlefield for the next 10 hours and like get to level 70. Yeah. I didn't do that. Like when I fought the Paintress, she fucking wiped out my first party. Like I remember being like, okay, like I wasn't over leveled when I fought Renoir, I like completely got decimated when the lion came out. I was like, what the fuck is that?
The other cool thing, but actually before I say that, I want to go back to the minimap point. So yeah, this goes to like, once again, not all quality of life is good quality of life. Some people would argue that there should be a mini-map because quality of life is simply good, to which I disagree. And then another point is that if there was a mini-map, I've played games sometimes where there's a mini-map, and instead of appreciating the artwork of the game, you fucking stare at your little yellow arrow
to the map.
You're glued to the map. Through a map. Yeah, like you're not looking at the environment and how pretty it is. You're just looking at like the game could be played on a Game Boy because you're literally just a yellow arrow going through a map.
I literally said that exact point when I was streaming. I said, there's no mini-map in this game, and I'm used to playing RPGs where I just kind of stare at the mini-map as a little cursor, and I fill out the mini-map if they are one of those games where the map is not filled at first, but then as you move through
it slowly unveils as you move.
Yep, yeah. I usually fill it out, and then I kind of go through it, or if it's completely just like, it's already filled out and you can just kind of go, I scrub it. I just scrub it from top to bottom to make sure I don't miss any nook and cranny. This game doesn't have one, which makes me focus on what is actually on the screen. I love that I miss things because there is no map. The very first area has like death to Lumina things that you get, or like death to chroma, whatever they're called. Dead energy. I missed dead energy completely until
I did too.
I didn't even know dead energy existed because in the very first forest that you're in, that glowy forest place, dead energy was like in a cranny somewhere. I had no idea. And so yeah, I just missed it.
I was gonna say to your point, it's like when there's games that have mini maps, we know from playing older video games that it's like, oh, there's a little trail that leads off the path. There's gonna be an item there, right? That's like 100%. That's so classic. That's so classic game design.
Yeah.
So the fact that doesn't exist means you actually have to spend the time to search the area, especially knowing that there are pictos that are like really fucking good you want. Because like dead energy early on is insane.
But if I would have had dead energy the whole game.
No, for real, because like Brittany got dead energy and I did it, and I'm like, wait, where did you get that?
Like, how do you have
that? And then like I had to go back and find it because I didn't know, like I missed it, and I was just like, that is like an insane picto. But like it felt just so organic in the sense of like just you actually have to explore, right? Yeah. The game doesn't hold your hand in that respect.
And you're supposed to miss things. It's intentional.
You are supposed to miss things.
You are not supposed to get everything on your first playthrough by just you're it's not realistic.
I don't think it's possible.
Exactly.
Like, unless you're purely like the most like I don't even know
either
photographic
if
memory.
You're like unemployed, then like maybe
and even then, bro, I just think that the amount of shit that I know I missed, it's Siren. I remember there's this part when you go finally to fight the Axon, the singing one, the one that represents Alin. You go in that place, and there's a point where you can turn left and go down, and that leads into like this entire city below. Or you can go forward, and there's a dude on a little carpet thing, and if you get on that, he's going to take you literally like 40 seconds away, like flying 40 seconds of visuals, beautiful visuals. And if you get there, you're in a completely different part of the Siren area. And I remember going to one spot and saying, okay, so there's a city down here that I can explore. And I said, well, let me go and do the carpet thing first. I ended up doing the carpet thing first, which ended up leading to like the one boss that's like weaving something that you can choose to fight or not. I ended up coming across him, and then I ended up saying, I'll let him live. I was like, I'm not going to kill him. They gave me the option. I'm going to let him live. So I let him live, and then I ended up going and finding Siren by accident, and I never even went back to go through that like city area that's completely. And then when I finally went back in Act 3, like when I finally went back to the Siren place, and went the way that I did not go, there were so many like pictos and fucking
there's all kinds
enemies.
of shit.
There's weapons that when I fought the enemy, is like, you picked up this weapon now. I was like, what the? I missed so much shit.
Dude, I spent that siren place specifically. I was in there for hours because you backtrack and then you get lost and then you end up on a path you kind of already went on. You're, oh, wait, hold on. I was already here. And then you backtrack again. You go over here and you're running around. And I was there for so long. And then to another point, like in terms of grinding again, when you like, I lost to a lot of bosses but every time, because of the way this game's mechanics are, and we didn't really talk about the gameplay at all,
which is crazy.
You don't feel like you have to grind. It's like I just have to dodge.
No,
like, you just have to play better.
If I just am better at the game, I don't need to grind.
Happened to me too.
And
I got wiped out.
That's the same thing.
And I was like, I just need to play better.
Good.
And what's scary, what's so cool about being a human is you actually just get better. Like
you do.
I got wiped out by Dueliste. Like he just like flash.
Dueliste. Don't get me started on Dueliste.
Jump up.
He's
Flash.
so fucking cool, dude.
Yes.
Oh my god, that was one of the coolest bosses ever.
It's Verso's Axon. Like he's literally designed after Verso. He who hides truth with lies. That Dueliste
I fucking love Dueliste.
From a plot standpoint and from an actual mechanic standpoint, the fight, everything about Dueliste is amazing. It represents Verso, Renoir's son, and like he who has truth behind lies. Even the way you get to that fight, you meet this like one Nevron who's like, I'll guide you to Dueliste.
What's the bridge, right?
Yeah.
When the bridge shatters. Yep.
He's like, I'll guide you to Dueliste. So he takes you to this Nevron. You beat this Nevron, and like it's like, okay, that was a little easy actually. Like that wasn't really hard.
Yeah.
And then the dude that helped you in the very beginning, CL's like, I see. You're actually the Axon. And then he fucking transforms and the swords come out. And it's like he who hides truth behind lies. I was like, bro, this game. And also Verso is a liar the entire fucking game.
The whole time.
The Axon, he who hides truth behind lies, your art will never be able to connect with people if you have a mask on the whole time, my son. Like the way Renoir tries to tell Verso, like, your art will never connect with people if you're wearing a mask. They can tell that you're not being yourself. Everything about
that leads into the other mask Axon. Oh my god,
it's so fucking good. And also, CL is the one who beats Dueliste.
I want to get back to this. Yeah, I want to get back to this.
Lune beats the Siren one because Lune, again, you can't control her with emotions. It doesn't work on her. Like the Genjutsu just literally didn't do anything to Lune. She just got out of it.
Genjutsu.
And meanwhile, CL, she's the most brutally honest character in the game. She's not lying about anything. She's actually too honest about everything. She tells
very hard on her sleeve type.
Very hard on my sleeve. Very honest. Very brutally honest. Yeah, I actually tried to kill myself and I lost my unborn child when I did it. And if I had the chance to bring my husband back, I don't know if I would now after you told me that you've been living a tormented life this whole time, Verso. I thought I knew, but now that you told me that information, I actually don't think I would bring my husband back because now that you put it that way, she's just so fucking honest. So when you fight Dueliste, he who hides truth behind lies, she's the one that beats Dueliste because she doesn't have any lies. She's not lying about anything. She's the one character who's like, I am so blatantly who I am. She just, I love it. Just so many thematic things about this game are insane.
There's just another story thing. Just once again, the game has a lot of mystery. And early on, when the black and white shit would happen, there's so much stuff that was happening with Mael, and I was like, "Bro, what?"
Same. I was very confused.
On?
I was like, I don't understand.
What is the story? What are they doing? What is Mael's connection to these people? Why? And there was just once again, every like turn of the game was dragging you along. The story was interesting. The characters were interesting, and then there was like mystery that really had you just entrenched in it. I was never not interested. There's never a point in the game where it's like, sometimes people think back on games, they're like, I'd love to play this game again. And then it's like, the meme is like, when you play your favorite game, but then you get to that part, and it's like the part of the game that sucks or whatever. I don't think this game has that.
I don't think it does either.
There's not a part in this game that I wouldn't be absolutely ecstatic to play again. Like, I agree.
That's impressive, right? I mean, that they were able to do something like that.
It is very hard to do that because there are parts of all my favorite games. Like when I played Ocarina of Time,
they have flaws.
Yeah, when I played Ocarina of Time, when I got to the Shadow Temple again, I was like, "Ooh, I hate this fucking place." Like the Eye of Truth, the whole time. Like I just do not like it. It's one of the parts that every time I play through, I get to that temple and I'm like, "Here we go with this one." I do not like this temple. I like the water one, I like the fire one, I like the forest temple, but I just get to that temple and I don't like the aesthetic. You're right. When I play Clair Obscur, there was no part of the game that I can honestly say, if I had to play through it again, not the part where you got to go through this Axon part again. Like, I would pay double and have my memory erased just to experience it again for the first time. That's how good it was.
Yep.
But yeah, like, even the very beginning of the game, the flying waters, when I tell you, just the visual of flying waters when you first get to that area, I was like, are we underwater? I can't tell if we're
fucking cool.
You look up and you see whales, like gigantic, fully
like
anchors. You see a shipwreck, which later on you find out that shipwreck is an expedition that's what happened to them. They ended up here and they fucking died. You see like fish and whales and sharks and all kinds of fucking manta rays and shit, like just floating and doing all kinds of things. Then you see these gigantic Nevrons, like these terrifying, hulking, drooling Nevrons. And I'm like, okay, so we're never going to be able to fight that though, right? And then by Act 3, you can fully on fight one of those Axons and completely zero. Like, it's crazy the scaling that you get to in this game. I know we haven't talked about the gameplay literally at all, really.
Because the story's so good.
The story's so good, but like, even I'm just thinking about like, just after you get out the forest, it's just you and Luna, and you get the flying waters. This is before you run into Mael, because she gets saved by the curator. But before you even get to Mael, you're just exploring the flying waters. The mystery, the mystique of this game, the way it looks visually, like everything about it, I stayed in that area for so long, probably way longer than anyone else, because I just was so blown away by the visuals. I kept stopping and just panning my camera.
Just looking around at shit. Yeah.
It just 100%. Looks insane. Oh my God.
I'll take this opportunity. Oh, no, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go.
Because I was going to slightly go off on the top. I was going to say I'll take the opportunity to like dive a bit into the gameplay mechanics.
Yeah, we can get into
light on that.
I wanted to do the same. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
go
cool. So I'll say a couple things, and I want to throw a question to you. So first of all, gameplay mechanics are great. It's a take-turn RPG. It has action timing similar to like Paper Mario. And then you can dodge and parry and all this other awesome stuff.
It's a turn-based RPG with Dark Souls parrying. That's that's all you need to describe this game. Yeah.
And all of the individual character mechanics are so early on, my best character by a fucking landslide was Mael. Mael early on was like, she just did so much work for me. As
she
the game ended,
later too.
She's Neo in the Matrix.
She was the first one for me that I felt like, okay, like I can generate AP on her really well. I'm constantly like able to do stuff with her. Whereas like my other characters, I felt like I was like, I haven't quite figured out how they work yet. Later on in the game, my best character becomes Lune. And so before I say too much more, I want to ask both of you like what some of your favorite characters were, how they worked, like what builds did you go for? Because I want to talk about my Lune build because it became the crux of my gameplay when I figured it out. It became the crux of my team for the rest of the fucking game when I figured out what I did with my Lune. And I imagine with how much different pictos there are and everything you do with the characters and your builds and your skills, etc. I'm super curious, like what directions you guys went in.
So there's two.
So Mael's fucking broken.
Yeah, there you go. Before,
just straight up, Mael's fucking OP as fuck.
Before you get to Act 3, I think that this conversation needs to be split because
that's true. Yeah, because it's before you break the damage cap and after are two completely different games.
They're literally a different game. Yep. I think that my perception of the game, the way I felt about the game, was different before Act 3. Like,
I agree.
After Act 3, when she awakens, I think that is like very different in terms of how much more ridiculous she becomes. And honestly, nothing comes close to her. Like she is the strongest character in the game. So like,
not even close.
So like before that though, right? When she's just Mael, right? And she's not Alicia, she's just Mael. I love Lune. My main party was Gustav while he was alive, Lune and Mael. That was so those are just the first three characters you get. And I actually really liked that setting. And you get CL at a point. And like I was like, okay, CL's cool, but I remember thinking this is really complicated. The whole Twilight thing, the foretell.
I will go to bat for my girl. Holy shit, she is also fucking cracked if you know how to build her.
I found out because she's on my end game party, but she's not in the begin. Like in Act 1 and Act 2, I didn't use her.
Man, I can't wait for everybody to talk about their builds. Oh my god, keep going.
I didn't use CL until Act 3, but so my conversation for Act 1 and 2 before you technically like end the game or beat the Paintress, my characters were just the first three that you get are literally. I didn't use Monoko and I didn't use CL at all. I beat the whole game. Well, I beat Act 2. I keep saying beat the game. I beat Act 2 with just the first.
When you beat Act 2, it was Lune, Mael, and then CL or Verso.
It was Verso. Like the first, when I say the first 3, because Gustav just gets replaced by Verso.
Verso replaces,
he's basically the same character. He has a slightly different mechanic, but at the end of the day, like he literally has some of the same moves.
He has the Devil May Cry mechanic. I kept calling.
Yeah, he literally does though, and he has
literally what it is.
And Gustav had a gun.
Dante from Devil May Cry.
Yep. So he replaces, and it's like, okay, it's still Gustav, just he looks slightly different. He even looked similar to me too. I was like, interesting. And then you get his hairstyle, and I was like, okay, so it's intentional that he looks like him. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
That was my main party, and it was like for a while I was using Mael's Medellum because I got that very early from the Gestral Village.
That sword
must be nice. Must be nice.
Sword is bro. I don't even know how that sword is so broken.
Must be nice. If you didn't know, you didn't fight whatever the fuck her name is with Mael, you didn't get it, and that was me. So
that is so cool. That's why I thought, and I guess you just confirmed it the way you said it, because I didn't know this to be true or not. So, like, for example, when I was talking about the swimsuit thing, and I was like, oh, I did it with Lune, and I happened to get Lune's swimsuit. I thought it was because I was using Lune, but then later I found out each spot just gives a specific swimsuit for each character. But on the other thing, I did it with Mael, and I got that the Mael sword, the purple one, Medellum. I got that sword, and I thought to myself, I wonder if I do this with a different character, do I always get that Mael sword, or would have I got a weapon for Lune if I did it with Lune?
Unique to the character. Yep. Because
that is so interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know either. Mael was just my best character at the time.
At the end of the game, you can get it at the end of the game, but you can't get it until then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because what happens is you can go back and fight Golgra, but she's like end game Golgra.
Yeah, she's really
damage.
She's so broken.
She's insane. So like you can still get Medellum, but you actually have to like actually fight her.
Right.
You know. So
I remember going to the tournament. I ended up getting Medellum. Mael was already the character that I really liked in general, just because I liked her aesthetic. And I like the girls. I just like Lune and Mael, and I even like CL.
I was running the girl party.
Yeah. Well, my end game party is just So at first I'm like, okay, using the girls. Gustav was just kind of there to do marking shots or whatever. Like he does his thing where he shoots and puts an X on them, and I was doing that. Basically, my setup was very simple. It was like Gustav starts to fight, he puts the mark on the enemy, and then Mael, usually Lune would burn the enemies, so she does that firestorm thing or whatever, like where she burns everybody. It takes 4 AP to use or whatever. So I would just like burn every wildfire. I would use wildfire, so every fight is like wildfire, put the X on the enemies after that, whoever survived. And then after they're already burning, and then I got burning crit and all of that shit going on, then Mael will come in and just do like one of her ridiculous moves, the one that starts with a P, and it just like the fucking sword comes up out the ground, and it just
the one it just does a shit ton of damage.
It just deals like
or something.
It just deals 9 very early in the game. I'm like, okay, so that is not okay. And I would just switch between like that and whatever. The one where it says if the enemy's burning, use this move and you go into virtuoso stance.
Go into virtuous.
Yeah, Fleuret Flurry or something like, or something like that.
Flurry.
You stay in virtuoso stance if you use Fleuret Flurry. So I was spamming Fleuret Flurry to stay in virtuoso stance for 6 AP. Then after that, because at this point in the game, you don't have enough AP. Like your AP generation is nowhere near what it is in Act 3. So like she would do a Fleuret Flurry for 6, and then I might have 2 left. And if I have 2 left, then I could do that per se move that like does the big sword that comes out the ground. Usually the enemy's dead by then, but if it's a boss or something, they're not dead. Then I have to burn the enemy. Then I have to use the thing where she attacks a burning enemy, then gets back into virtuous, and then repeat that cycle. And that was mainly my main thing that I was doing. That's my main thing for before Act 2.
Or it's Act 3 or
before Act 3.
Right?
Before Act 3, yeah.
And then what about you, Cimo? You want to talk a little bit about your girls?
Yeah. So CL's cracked. You basically do a turn skip build with CL, which is nuts.
Yep.
So what you do is once you get I can't remember if it's like a skill or a weapon or something. First of all, I love that CL has a double-edged scythe. That's so fucking badass.
Her weapon design,
so sick.
Yeah, so fucking sick. Especially some of the later versions of the weapons are so fucking crazy looking. So anyway, I love that because I always love scythes. I don't know why.
Me too. Especially double-sided scythe. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like that's like it's nuts. Yeah. So there's a specific scythe that when you do when you like inflict foretell or whatever, it like doubles it. So you do that.
Yep, you're right.
And then there's another skill that like she has as an attack that it lets you like it just skips the opponent. It like pushes their like turn timer like back it like sets them back like where their turn order is. If like I forget the circumstances, but there's some like condition you have to meet for them to like get pushed back. It might just be dependent on their speed or something like that. But anyway, so basically before you even get the picto that lets you go twice in a row,
cheater.
You can basically go like first hit, do 10 foretell, and then like push them back, and then she gets to go like again, and then like you can just do another move that like expends all the, it does like 10 foretell, but it doubles it to 20, and then there's the second move that just expends all the foretell and does like a shit ton of damage. And you basically just keep looping that cycle, and depending on the type of enemy you're fighting, it just like they will never get a turn because the rest of your guys will go, and then you push them back with CL, so then you go back to CL and loop it again, and it keeps pushing their turn order back, so they never get a chance to fucking hit you. So early on, she's cracked because it's like she breaks the damage cap without breaking the damage cap, essentially. It's just like a more like roundabout way of doing it. But you left it, it's like a very specific, you need a specific weapon, and it's a very specific like set of like skills that you need to do that. So I figured that out, and that was when like she was like, oh my, okay, like she's fucking nuts just for that reason alone. And then I was just like the team girls, like Mael is fucking insane, like you said, with Pierce and everything, and then she gets cracked in Act 3. And then I don't think I did. I kind of swapped between Lune and Minoko because like I just like Minoko was just so interesting because I feel like he's the most complex out of all the characters, just because of like with the wheel and like how you're going to like, you have to like plan multiple steps ahead with how Minoko functions. But if you like figure him out, and not to mention if you have the right feat, because some of the fucking guys, like you get like duelist and like different fucking like you get like the bosses that you fight sometimes, and if you get some of those under Minoko, he's a fucking house. Like they will hit so fucking crazy. And so, so I think after I broke the damage cap, I think I swapped out Lune for Minoko because then like the Elemental Genesis combo is so fucking strong. Because you do like, I think it's Elemental Genesis, you trigger one of each stain, and then there's like a move for like 9 or something that drains them all and does like a fuck ton of damage and everything. And you basically just loop that over and over again. And with the damage cap broken, it's just like you literally are in the millions of damage. Not to mention, of course, Mael with fucking Stenhall is fucking crazy.
Yeah, that move is so nonsense.
They could have, so Stenhall got nerfed. They could have nerfed that again, to be honest.
I didn't even know when I was playing it was already nerfed.
Yeah, I remember seeing like because Brittany and I were so obsessed. We remember seeing that we're like, oh, we patched Stenhall, but this is before we got to Stenhall, and we're like, wow, how good is that move? And then all of a sudden we got to it, we're like, this is the nerfed version of this move.
Extreme void damage.
It's insane. It is you can literally one-shot the hardest bosses in the game with this move. And that's post-nerf. Yeah. That's post-nerf.
You literally one-shot Simon with it too. Everybody can get it.
Literally, like, it just invalidates so much of the game. But like at that point, like who fucking cares? Like, you know?
You can just do what you want. And I like that there's more than one way to skin a cat. The other thing I want to say real quick, with Lune early before Act 3, my Lune was also, there got to a point where she got Trebuchet, which is like her best weapon.
Yep, Trebuchet's the best one. Yep.
And so that one generates
generates a random stain, right?
Generates a random stain, and then she gets this move called Mayhem, which she fires off as many stains as she's generated, and it does elemental damage based on the stain that you fire. It only costs like 3 to do, so it's cheap on AP.
It's cheap.
Oh, that's what it is. It's after Elemental Genesis, you do Mayhem. That's what it was.
It's cheap. It's cheap to do it, and then you shoot off 4 of them, and every battle will just be like, all right, so I'm just going to use free shot. Free shot would build up the fucking stains, because that's what Trebuchet does, is like builds up stains as you do free shots. So it's like boom, 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 boom. Then use the thing and just like Mayhem, boom, 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 and it does so much damage.
I think Mayhem gets bonus damage if all 4 stains are different, if I recall. Or if you have fire, earth, water, lightning, I think it gets like bonus, like it gets like insane bonus damage if you have all 4.
Yeah,
which that's what you're going for when you're shooting. You're just trying to get all 4 of the stains, or a white stain, which counts as any of them.
Exactly.
It's like a wild card, basically. Yeah. But I just love. I know Kenny's about to go off on his builds, but like before he does that,
no. I still want to hear what you got to say.
I love how mechanically different each of the characters feels.
Yes.
Right?
Oh,
like each one of them, like at their core, the combat's the same. They all have guns. Some of them have like finger guns, which is kind of funny. Like they all have guns. Yeah. Luna's just like bam.
Yeah.
then they all attack, they can all parry, like they all have the same core moves, but then like they all have this like one gimmick that defines their character and makes each of them feel so different, where like a lot of the times in some RPGs all your whole party is kind of like the same character, right?
Yep.
You might kit them all out in the same armor, the same weapons, the same class, whatever, because that's just like, you know, maybe it's the meta, maybe that's just easy, you know. But this game like distinctly, and not to mention each of the weapons offers a different variety for like how the direction of your build can go.
Yep, the weapons are so
it's not even just limited. It's not even just limited to the skills on how your build is. The weapons, some of them like synergize with certain skills and are anti-synergistic with others. And so there's so much depth and meatiness in the combat, and that's like without even getting into like Pictos and Luminas. But go ahead.
Oh my god, Pictos are crazy. I want the real quick because I also didn't use Minoko. I'm one of those like somewhat complete, like I feel bad for inanimate things. Like I'm playing this video game doesn't, if I never use Minoko, the game will never know. But I'm one of those people, like I grew up playing Pokemon. I get emotional for like these digital things, right? Like I respect them, I like them. Even though like by the time I got Minoko, I wasn't too interested. Like I wanted to use him, but then it was like, he has to be in my party in order for me to get the Nebron feed, et cetera, et cetera. And like he's a blue mage, and there was just like, so I was like, I don't really, but then like, because I loved Minoko and his cat, and I was like, and I felt bad. I was like, oh, so I got to use him sometime. So like, I did use him.
Funny. He's so fucking funny.
The way I ended up building my Minoko was like, just as a side note, because he wasn't necessarily one of my mains, but I still used him because I used everybody. Because like I felt bad if I didn't use a character, if I got too far behind on levels, like I started to feel bad. I was like, oh man, like that's my guy. So I'd bring him in. But Minoko, I forget which weapon it is, but every time you do a free shot, it just randomizes where the wheel.
Yeah, you go like, is it random or does it go forward by one? I forget.
I think there's one that's like what you said, but the one I was using is random.
Okay. Okay.
So it would be random, and then it was like whenever you free shot, I think it's like bonus damage, but then if you're on Almighty Mask, your free shot is like half damage. So I would like shoot to get, and then all of Minoko's skills were basically just support. He would like generate shields for everybody, set up protect. Like he was just a full support build. He would set up status effects, etc. And then he had one where it was like he would get a second turn. So I would just like shoot and I would have like all of the things where like you free aim shot to get burn and mark, etc. 20% chance. So I just designed him to be like, okay, I'm gonna free aim shot with him. I got like all these different buffs for free aim shot until I hit the right mask that I want, then use the support skill that I want to do, and he would like be supporting the party that way. But that was like my way of using Minoko. I'm sure he has like a broken offense build, but I didn't go and figure that out.
He does, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was still kind of just like
Frazier knows.
Yeah, it's just one move. I don't know. It's like overtuned. It seems like, to me, it seems almost bugged. It's the move where
if you're on Almighty Mask and do it, he's fucking
insane. The fucking Almighty Mask where you just summon out the big Saka Fat thing, the robot thing that it shoots out. It just shoots out the fire. It just does millions upon millions of damage for no reason. I'm like, why is this this move is outrageously strong.
Not to mention Minoko's god weapon just keeps him on Almighty Mask permanently, so that you just spam the shit out of it. It's
also like that everyone has that kind of weapon,
a god weapon. Everyone like Mael has Madadium or whatever the fuck, Madalum. And then Lune has like Trebuchem. Like it's like
everyone has
like a god weapon for each character.
That literally, like Minoko has one that you start the fight off in Almighty, which is already too much.
Oh no, it just stays in Almighty. Like it's just permanent.
Whatever, I don't know because the fights don't last past one turn.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Same thing. But you start off in Almighty, you just kill everything, and then fucking CL. I remember CL, the weapon that I ended up using on her, I don't even know if it's her best. I don't really care. It's the one that I ended up liking so much. It says if you have a moon charge, apply greater rush to your whole party. If you have have a sun charge, apply greater slow to all enemies.
Yep.
Like there's this build with her that you end up turn one.
And it has another thing when you're in Twilight.
When you're in Twilight, yes, it like doubles these things or whatever. So that is my favorite weapon for her. I don't know what the name of it is because it's been a while since I played the game now. But basically, I would use that. So every fight, my whole party, greater rush, and enemies are greater slow. So already, I'm fucking with the turn orders. Then she has intervention, which is just like straight up, give somebody 5 AP.
Intervention's so good. So good.
Give them 5 AP and they go next. Like, what the fuck were they thinking? That shit literally is not. And then Cheater stacks with that.
cheater stacks with it. Yep, it's so good.
Yeah, intervention is by far it literally breaks the game though. Like actually breaks the game. So once I realized that like okay, CL's actually the strongest character in terms of setup stuff because you don't have to let the enemy play. You can also do the one where she doubles somebody's damage. So then like on the next turn, their next thing that they do deals literally double. Nothing else to it. Just straight up.
You get double like Stendhal or whatever.
Exactly.
Oh my God,
so I'm like
fucking over.
I'm like, all right, double Mael, then intervention her. And now Mael has full AP, and then she can do Stendhal at double damage, which is also doubled by Medallum, which is also doubled by her having all these fucking pictos on that say, if she is affected by this, she gets 10%. If she has shield, she gets 10% for every shield.
You do what's the fucking thing? You do the one move where you set your health to 1 HP because there's something that it's like when your health is like below like 10 or 5%, you get like 300% damage or something like that. Yep.
It's just really so the stacking at the end is just
nuts.
It's a joke.
I love when you do like when you're in combat and you do like a shot and then you see like 20 fucking Pictos trigger at once and they show all of them.
That is so hype.
The CVS receipt.
There's something that hits
the fucking CVS receipt.
The gamer brain when you do a thing and then the screen goes.
Just the fucking CVS receipt of Pictos that just activated.
Oh my God. So wait, was both of your like end game parties the 3 girls?
Yeah, 100%.
I have multiple. Yeah. I actually had multiple end game parties. So I have an end game party that's the 3 girls. Lune didn't really matter in that party. She was just kind of there for damage, but she could have been anybody. So I often switched her out for Verso because at the beginning of a fight, I would have Verso with his weapon that starts off in perfection. I would have him do the one Picto where you shoot and it breaks the enemy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I had that
shot or whatever.
Yeah. So I would have that. Yeah, I would have that thing on like you need a sniper from the Reacher place.
Yeah.
So the sniper, you get the sniper Picto, which allows free aim shots to break enemies, and then you have breaking shots, which gives you AP for breaking
extra
enemies.
Break damage.
Yep, and then extra break damage. So basically, Verso, I programmed it to where like
use your breaker.
Yep, I started the fight off. Verso, you're already in S, so his free aim shots, first of all, he does 200%, just like Medallum. Like imperfection, he just does double damage. So he starts off free aim shot, and he's free aim shot just shooting. And his fucking AP is going down, but it's going up because he's inflicting burn. So he has burning shots, which then makes him gain AP for burning enemies. Then I have breaking shots, so when he breaks an enemy, his AP goes back up. Then eventually he'll kill an enemy, and that gives him the dead energy. That
triggers like deadly whatever the fuck.
Yeah, dead energy and shit. So it was
dead
just
energy,
like
dead energy. Yeah.
He would gun everything down. He would put double mark on enemies, get the blue X, and then after he was done, eventually I'd be like, okay, now you pass to Mael, who comes in after him and does like burning canvas, which I just love that. I just love burning canvas. It just looks so fucking sick. It just looks fucking cool. So and the amount of burn that I ended up putting on that one enemy that gives you cheater. I remember fighting that thing and like the way I beat it, because this is before he gives you to break the damage limit thing. Or no.
Is that the guy? No, you break the damage limit from...
You get that from Paintress.
Yeah.
He gives you cheater.
You get cheater. Is that the water guy?
Yeah, he's in the water. He does like the slam attacks. I remember fighting him and like just burning him to death.
He gives you cheater?
Yeah.
He gives you cheater. Yeah.
Because
he does like the lasers across the board and then he slams.
I remember
his
getting
hand.
cheater. For some reason I didn't remember getting it from him.
No,
I thought I got cheater from someone else.
It's the big ass Gestural in the water.
Yeah. He's a gigantic.
I think his name's Sprong.
It is Sprong. Yep.
Sprong. Yeah, it's him.
He was wild. That was a wild.
They tell you he's charging up his laser for one turn and then the next turn he just like boom,
just fucking zapped your whole team.
Boom, and like you just parry. Once I got used to it, I mean, I did the fight on stream. Once I got used to that fight, I was like, oh, this feels so good. Because it's like, I'm block, counter.
It's so, parrying is so fucking
It's the best thing.
Bro.
It's the best thing. And when you get the fucking perfect counter thing, when you do it right, and then they do that little cinematic where you like slide backwards, and then they come in and like stab.
It's so interesting because, like, realistically, all they iterated on for turn-based combat was just adding parrying. But
multiple layers to it too,
check, right? Yeah, exactly.
There's jumping, there's the gradient parry, there's the fucking...
There's a lot of different variants. Yeah, I don't know about you guys. I played it on hard. And so, on hard, if you miss parries or dodges, you just die.
Yeah.
Like, straight up. Like, you get fucking wrecked. And so it was funny because Brittany was playing on regular. And so she would do something and be like, oh, that's not too bad. And then I would do it like an hour later and get my fucking ass just like absolutely annihilated.
Yeah.
And so, but it's like, it's a skill issue, right? It's like, get good, like learn to dodge and parry. And the best part is, if you are the best parrier in the fucking world, you never take damage.
Exactly.
So it's all skill, right? And that's so rewarding. I think that's fantastic that is like, and like in the beginning, you probably suck. But then by the end of the game, you're like, oh, I've got this shit on lock, like easy. You know?
Yeah, certain fights, even at end game, I remember fighting Simon, and I didn't know that all his attacks were going to have an after attack. So I was like,
yeah, they have like the after image attack.
Yeah, so it becomes a rhythm game when you're parrying. It's like parry, 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 parry.
Yep.
I was like, okay, this is a lot. Kenny, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I'm at some point going to go back and talk about like the builds and the characters and stuff. But on the note of difficulty, I wanted to say I started the game on normal. When I first started the game, I just put it on the middle. So there's 3 difficulties. There's like story, like regular, like expeditioner, and like kill yourself. Those are like the 3 difficulties. And I like that. I like the difficulties.
Really on brand. It's funny that kill yourself is like the last, because it's just on brand for the game.
I like the direction, by the way, that difficulties are going. Instead of calling difficulties easy, medium, hard, I like saying like, this is just, I just want to see a good story difficulty. Right. The game's easy, whatever. And then here's like intended difficulty, hard difficulty. I will say for most people, games aren't movies. And I do think the difficulty of playing a game can make the game better and make you enjoy the story more. But that's a whole nother conversation. But anyway, I started on the normal difficulty. And because I was like, oh, whatever. I knew that we were going to do a podcast on it. I didn't want to. I was like, I don't know how hard the game. I don't, blah blah blah. I don't want to spend 100 hours stuck in the game,
right? Because that could definitely happen if you choose certain games. God of War, if you put it on the hardest difficulty, you are going to be stuck for actual hours on one part. And there's nothing you can do about it because it's just that hard.
So but I want to quickly intervene before Kenny continues, because I want to say that even on hard, what I love about the game is that when you die, there's no bullshit of like, oh, go back to the save point and run to the boss for like 5 minutes to fight him again. Yeah. It just puts you right back in the fight, or like right next to the enemy that you can engage in the fight, or you can not engage in the fight and go do other shit and maybe like come back later, right? And so I hate like that stupid bullshit in old games where it's like, oh, you died, you have to go all the way back and go all the way to get back to where you were. It's just such a waste of time. So even on the hardest difficulty, it doesn't feel as punishing to die, and it gives you this freedom to be able to like kind of freestyle a bit and like get used to like certain things that like, oh, I died, all right, I just get back in, right? It's just like we just send it, you know? Yeah. And I think that's like the right way to do difficulty. Like shit can be hard, but like it shouldn't be like it shouldn't be just this agonizing process to get back into the hard difficulty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Completely agree.
Anyway, go on.
I was playing on normal, and then by the time I got comfortable, which comfortable was like maybe let's say halfway through Act 1, right? Yeah, it was before Gustav died. But by the time I got like comfortable with the game, I was like, all right, I'm gonna put it on hard. And then like I put it up on hard, and then like I played the rest of the game on hard. So I started on normal, and then I was like, okay, I understand the game now, and I think I'll be fine. I understand the fairness of the game, that like there's no like unfair, like, oh, you start the fight, you die. Like you can just once again, you can just never take damage. Yeah. So once I understood the game, I moved it up to hard, and I really, really enjoyed it. Also, I just once again commend the point that you said that you can get right back into the fight. It's similar to like Cuphead. Cuphead's a notoriously brutally hard game, but like when you die, you're instantly fight. Like you die, okay, I'm fighting again. Like there's no like bullshit. Like in Cuphead, you fight a boss, you die, you fight again. Like it's.
I think that might just be a relic of older game design, right? I think a lot of games like that's not as big of an issue as it used to be. I think game designers are learning like this is not fun. So why are we like having this like this extra like 3 minutes of okay, I got to run back to the boss, right? It's I remember it's stupid.
In Kingdom Hearts 1 original, now you can. In original Kingdom Hearts 1, you couldn't skip cutscenes. Now in the remakes you can. But I remember I love Kingdom Hearts. I remember Kingdom Hearts 1, I would lose a boss and then I'd have to watch this whole fucking cutscene again, which was a great cutscene. But at some point, it's like, all right, I've seen this cutscene 6 times. Like I'm fucking over it. Please, God, let me just fight the boss again. But yeah, I'm happy that's way less of a thing now. Back to the characters though. I, similar to Frazier at first, was just like, oh, these are the first 3 characters I got. These are the 3 characters I'm using. As I got other characters, I was like, I'll use them here and there, but whatever. So it was like Gustav, Lune, Mael.
They are also the easier characters to understand, and I think that's on purpose. They give you the 2 harder characters at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
CL and Minoko are definitely like the more complex characters. I agree. Yeah.
So like CL I used a little bit, but then when Gustav died and you get Verso, even though Verso is very similar to Gustav in terms of gameplay, I was still like, well, I don't fucking know this guy. So like my team became Lune, Mael, CL. And that's when I started using CL a lot. And then as I was playing, that thing happened where I have empathy for things that aren't real. And I was just like, I want to use Verso because like the story's progressing. I'm learning. I was like, this guy is fucking cool. So then I started, because I think at one point before a random podcast, Frazier asked me like, who are you using or who your favorite characters are? And at that time I said like Mael, Lune, and CL. And by the end of the game, my main party was Lune, Verso, and Mael. And it's so cool because like my build, it's similar to what Frazier said about like, I don't know what CL's best weapon is, but like this was my favorite weapon and I don't care.
Sure.
My Lune weapon was, I think it's called Benisam or something like that. That weapon, I fucking love that weapon. That she became the backbone of my team. You know how Yu-Gi-Oh decks have an engine? She became my fucking engine.
What does it do?
So Benisam, the first thing it does is, it makes healing skills cost 1 less. Not a big deal. That's not really all that relevant. Healing skills cost 1 less. Who cares? The second thing it does says every single turn you generate a green stain, an earth stain. And I was like, whoa, that's really fucking cool. You just get a free stain just for your turn starting every single turn. That's really fucking cool. And then the last one is when you consume green stains by using a healing skill, she gets a second turn. So,
it's one of those weapons. Yeah, everyone has one of those too.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Bro, and then here's where the first skill not mattering starts to matter. So here's where Lune became the engine of my team. So eventually she got like, I got a Picto where it was like, when you heal someone, you give them AP.
Oh, yeah.
So what ends up happening is like, I end up eventually getting
energizing
Typhoon.
Heal. Typhoon.
Yeah, so you end up getting Typhoon, which does, I think it's 8 AP. It does damage every turn, and it heals your party when it does damage. So what ends up happening is, very first turn, I do like the fire attack to generate a stain. And so I have an earth stain turn 1. I do the fire attack, have a fire stain. Then her next turn, she just gets another free green stain. And I use Typhoon. It consumes the 2 green stains. It does damage, heals everybody. Because Typhoon heals as a side effect, not only does it give them all AP, it gives her another turn. So she just gets another turn. And then I can like either Typhoon again, or what happens is like Typhoon also generates stains. So by the time you use Typhoon, you have 4 different colors. So you can use Elemental Genesis and then just like and do a bunch of damage. So like Lune became...
That's really interesting. That's cool.
Every time it was her turn. And then, because Typhoon does heal, it costs 1 less AP. So it ended up being perfect storm where like I had just enough AP to use Typhoon because I had right? It ended up being perfect because after I would use the one, I would have 7 AP. I forget exactly how the whole setup
but it ended up working out where you had the exact amount of AP you needed.
I had the exact amount. I used Typhoon. She gets her turn back immediately. And then on her turn, she gets an extra AP. And then Typhoon triggers on her turn. So when you use Typhoon, you give your whole team like AP. She gets a turn again. Typhoon triggers on her turn. She gives the whole team AP again. So every time it was Lune's turn, everybody's AP would go from 0 to 9. She would just fill everybody's. So I didn't need to use AP skills on anybody else because every time Lune's turn came up, everybody went 9 AP. And she just engined my fucking team, and she would get 2 turns every fucking time.
You know what's interesting?
It was so fucking cool. I was in love.
One of the brilliant things about Clair Obscur's gameplay, like combat gameplay, is that people will have a very different experience with the way they play through the game and what they prioritize. And I'm hearing this because you're talking about the Typhoon skill, which I've never used, by the way. Like, I've never even seen what it.
I never touched it.
I don't even know what it looks like.
So broken,
I genuinely,
bro. It was so good.
I read it, and I understood what it did, and I started to see things that could be done with it. But I was like, I'm interested in what I'm doing over here. What I love about this game is that there's more than one way to skin a cat. So
I agree.
You came up with this like broken strategy to use Typhoon, and it like energizes your whole party, and it does like all of these crazy. It's healing. Well, I was going to speak to the healing aspect of Clair Obscur because this is like how different the game is. Healing, I realized, I don't know when it was. It might have been at like the start of Act 2. It might have been at some point in Act 1, maybe late in Act 1. At some point, I realized healing is actually not necessary in this game. I had healing skills on multiple characters. I had Gustav has a thing that if the enemy's burning, he heals when he does this attack. It calls 4. I forget what it's called. And then Verso ends up getting the exact same thing.
It's called like from fire.
Yeah,
from fire. I think that's exactly. I think you're exactly right. And then multiple characters have these kind of things like obviously Lune has blatantly, she heals the whole party. Like she has like a healing rain type of thing where she like heals the whole party. Revitalizing is called. Like she revitalizes, everybody gains a bunch of HP. And for a while I was using that. And what ended up happening is I ended up getting the inverse Picto at one point. And it says
so good. Oh, so I love it makes your characters black and white, which is so funny.
I do hate that part about it because
that's literally the only reason why I didn't use it. I was like, inverse is broken. And then it made your character, and I was like, because it makes the game ugly, I'm not going to.
I liked it. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was cool. I thought it was like
I like broken shit, so even though it made them ugly, I still used it. Inverse makes it where you cannot heal, though. It kills you. So you get inverse pretty early, too. You don't like inverse, they don't wait to give you get inverse pretty early, because I guess they're saying like if you use this, you cannot heal for 3 turns, because it gives you 3 turns of inverse at the start. So I got inverse pretty early. And before that, though, I was like all about Lune's my healer. She's my white mage. I still had this classic RPG thing in my mind.
Yeah.
You need a white mage. So I need somebody to heal, somebody to bring people back. I need this guy's going to be the setup character. This girl's going to be my damage dealer. And that's kind of how that was my mindset going into it. And then like I got inverse and it changed my entire way of thinking about the game, because I realized, wait a second, with the parry and dodge mechanic, technically I don't need to heal, which I didn't realize until I got inverse and I couldn't heal and I had to parry. I had to dodge. So then it reframed my entire mind for the rest of the game. And I'm pretty sure this happened in like Act 1 or Act 2. For the rest of the game, I was like, I'm taking off every skill that says heal, because what was happening, I would accidentally use them. And this, you can see this on stream. I would accidentally use a healing skill and kill someone. Like I would just forget that like, oh shit, they have inverse. You just killed that person. So I ended up taking off every healing skill, which then made me not care about Lune as much, because she was my healer, and I didn't even investigate other skills on her at the time. This is still early on. I didn't go into like Elemental Genesis yet. I was still on Mayhem and like free shots with Trebuchet, then Mayhem, and that was like her thing that she did. And she did Wildfire to burn everybody so that they get like critical burn and stuff like that. That was her role. She wasn't really like my DPS, but Mayhem is strong, and she could do DPS, but she wasn't the main one. Mael was obviously outrageous the whole game. So she did that, especially when you have Medallum. But like, hearing the strategy that you have for like the AP generation, you know, the Typhoon thing like that, there's another one that I wanted to try where it's this one skill, I think it's called like Lightning, and it generates 2 Earth Stains when you use it. And it costs like nothing. It costs like 1 AP.
Oh, I tried this. Yeah, I tried this.
And then there's another thing that's like Earthquake or something like that, and that costs, if you have 2 Earth Stains, it does like some extra, it like breaks multiple enemies, and it like does all these things.
There's like a rotation, where it's like if you do like these certain 4 skills,
like Lightning and then like Earthquake or whatever,
they feed into each other to like keep getting you the stains you need, and you can like just literally just do that 4 attack rotation for like a whole fight. You're
100% right. So I was doing that a lot. But yeah, inverse just like changed my perception, because then I realized, I said, oh shit, it's just me. This game is just a skill check. Like if you can dodge or parry, you don't ever take damage. So then healing is not actually prioritized and not necessary at all. And I just stop. I never heal. Like I just do not heal.
What's so funny about you saying that too is that playing on hard mode, like healing's basically irrelevant anyway. Like if you get hit, your party's just wiping. So like I discovered that like super early on,
right?
Because
you're like, I got hit and I died.
Like, it's like, well, I don't need to heal because I'm just or like if you do die, like if you do get hit, you don't die, you're gonna be at like 2 health or whatever, right?
And then healing is also like a meme at that point.
Right, because at that point it's like I'd rather just like take the skill check and just try to actually kill the thing and like just parry or dodge or whatever.
If somebody's at like 2 HP, the game plays this like not even a trick on you. It kind of asks you the question: do you want to heal this character? Or do you believe that you can dodge the next round of attacks?
Exactly.
I love that.
It's like it's interesting risk reward like kind of thought.
Yeah, because at Final Fantasy X, I'm playing 10 right now, and like, when a character is blinking or their HP is red, I have to heal them because the next attack will hit them. There's not a choice.
Right.
It will hit them.
Right.
So it's like I have to heal.
Adding that mechanic, I think it just opens up the genre so much, because it's like now it's like, okay, it's prescriptive, right? Like you see your character's red, you have to heal, otherwise you're fucked, right? But now there's this interesting twist where it's like you don't have to heal. Yeah. And just get good, you know? So I really like that. Because like I can think of multiple boss fights where I was on like, 10 health or whatever.
I was just going to say this.
I'm like, I'm gonna fucking risk it. And it's like, again, because it's not like death isn't super punishing in this game.
Yeah, that's also true.
It like lets you take those risks. And like it forces you to like into this position where it's like, okay, I'm gonna like test my limits to see how well I can actually do this. And if you fail, it's okay because you can just get right back in the fucking fight in 2 seconds and like do it again, you know? So like there isn't a giant punishment for death. And it actually, I think then as a result of that, positively encourages you to like try other things because you know the risk of dying isn't high. Right? Like it's just at that point, it's just you sunk in your investment of like the time it took for you to like fight the boss. Which for the most part, most boss fights do not go on that long.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially when you get broken. Yeah, it was cool too, because like you said, healing isn't as important because of all the reasons.
This is the first RPG that I've played where you just don't really need to set up any kind of healing at all. You can just play the game without healing. Is just not a necessary thing. Whereas in pretty much every other one I've played, you just need to heal because you are going to get hit. You can't prevent it. Yeah, you can't prevent damage.
Can I just say, I fucking love that they took one out of Dark Souls book with this one, and you have the healing tints and the chroma elixirs. So it's like you don't have an inventory of 9,999 potions that you're never going to use. It's like, here's your cap of like 5 heals, right? And it's like, you have this until you get to the next save point if you need it. And it's like, that's it. Like, and I love that. Like, we're taking this, like, because how many fucking RPGs have you played that your inventory is just clogged with so much shit
every single one of them.
Never actually, right? But
so
this one,
that's
right. This game, it still offers the benefit, and it's upgradable on top of it, which is fun.
They start off shitty, and then at the end, they become like full heals. It starts off shitty,
and then it gets better. Yeah, you get more chroma elixirs, you get the healing tints and the stuff to like help you upgrade it.
Revive and then, all that.
Right, and it's like, it offers what you need it to do, but it's not like I have 4,000 fucking full restores.
So that's a Dark Souls thing you said? I've never played Dark Souls, so I didn't know that's how other games or any other game.
That's what Dark Souls does.
I never knew that.
Like, you have like a little like elixir thing that it's like if you're low on health, you just crack it and it puts you at full health or whatever.
But then it gets like
you fill it when you go to the save point.
Gotcha. So I didn't know that. I was like, this is so unique that I don't have potion, high potion, mega potion, elixir, this, and then I have like 73 of this and 86 of this, and it's like, okay.
And then you also just can't cheese content because, again, I talk about, like I mentioned, like full restores, right? It's like Pokemon. You go into the Elite Four with 4,000 full restores, like you're not going to fucking die, right? It's impossible.
No,
I like that.
So, like,
really good.
It limits you.
Yeah. So like, it limits you. It's like, it's a tool, you can use it, but it's not going to be a crutch that you can cheese the content with. You might be able to get away with some things, right? But like, for the most part, like there is a finite amount of times you're going to be able to use whatever. So I think that was just really well thought out in that execution.
It's a great use of the items. And then to go back a little bit, it's cool too because like you guys said about the healing, it's not as necessary. But what's cool is that this game has so many different. So like the healing almost was just like a function because like there was also a picture that was like when your party's healed, they get powerful. When your party's healed, they get chill. When your party's healed, so it was like she would heal everybody. They would get a bunch of buffs, all AP, all this other crazy shit, and then Verso. I'm curious if you guys used Verso, what weapon? My Verso, once again, because like before I got Cheater, I was just like, okay, so she has this thing where when she heals everybody, she gets it. So every time it's her turn, she gets 2 turns. She always gets 2 turns, and she like fills everybody's AP, etc. And then Verso, he has a sword that says if you do a basic attack, you get a second turn.
I see. So, I remember that. Yeah.
What I did with Verso is I put every picto that said this happens on a basic attack. So when Cimo earlier said, I love when you do a thing and the CVS receipt happens, right? So I had every single, like, this happens on base attack ability on Verso. And then so, like, Verso would, like, do a bunch of shots, go down to 0 AP. So, like, he would have full AP because Lune gave him 9 AP. Then he would shoot them 9 times, go down to 0, and then he would do a basic attack, and then there's like a thing that makes it so you have your basic attack happens twice. So I'll do my basic attack, I hit him twice, I get AP, I go all the way back up to 9 AP for doing a basic attack, get a second turn, and then like shoot him again, and then like do whatever ability I want to use, do like perfect rush or whatever other fucking random things. So like Verso was literally just like shoot 9 APs worth of shooting. Actually, I would shoot like 12 AP worth of shooting because like they would get marked, and then you would get AP back for mark.
You get the AP back,
and then you'd shoot them, and then I would hit them, get a second turn, shoot them again, and then there's like an ability that's like if you're an S, it only costs 2. and it gains damage every time you shoot them. So I would shoot them like 12 times, then use this ability, and it would do like it would just like the boss's health would like chunk down. Like, after I did so much shit already, it was so cool.
The skills in this game, like you said,
I
the
got
combos.
Cheater. My teams were set up in like I was using whatever thing that was like this is how they get 2 turns. This is how he gets 2 turns.
Yeah,
this is how she gets 2 turns.
Yeah.
And then it was like an engine. I love how unique the game system is.
The only character that I was giving 2 turns to was Lune. She has that one move where I think if the enemy's on fire, she like does something that she gains AP and takes another turn.
She gains AP and like takes another turn.
So,
yeah.
That move was my favorite move at first. So and then I found that it was bugged and I stopped using it because it was broken.
Oh shit.
So like I was using that move. It basically says like if the enemy is on fire, she gives herself AP. If you consume 2 green stains, she gives herself a second turn.
Yep.
So it was like
that's what it was.
Yeah, so I would. It's called thermal transfer.
Yep.
So I was like,
exactly
this is fucking broken.
Yeah.
So you'd light them on fire. You do it. She gives herself a second turn if you have the 2 green stains, and then she also gives herself AP. I was like, this is fucking broken.
Yeah.
But then I was using it. I would use it, and I would get a second turn, and I was like, and I didn't have green stains, and I was like, what the fuck? And I was looking at the move. Yeah. So I kept reading the move. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why am I getting a second turn? And it kept happening, and I was like, this is broken. But then I started to feel like, and then so this is the only thing in the entire game I looked up. I looked up how is thermal transfer like supposed to work? Because I was getting a second turn, but I wasn't filling the condition. And then basically the devs at some point said like thermal transfer is bugged, and you were able to get the second turn as long as they were burning. So if they were burning, you got both effects, even though you were only supposed to get one effect.
Oh, that's
so interesting.
And because it was bugged, I was like, okay, and I like stopped.
I never knew that because I only used Trebuchet with that character, so I always generated stains before doing anything. And I wouldn't use thermal transfer unless I knew it was going to give me another turn. Like I wouldn't even click it because why would I click that move? So I would never even find that out because I would never use the move is really bad if you don't get another turn. It's actually because it doesn't do a lot of damage or anything.
It doesn't do a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's not a good move. So I was like, well, I'm not using this unless I have a colorful stain and a green or 2 greens. So whatever it said, I would always just meet those conditions because like I would even click the move if it doesn't get
For me, it was like so early in the game where there'd still be times where like you don't have enough AP to do something, so maybe you just basic attack so you have more AP next turn.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, if they're always on fire. If they're just on fire, I do this and I get so much more AP going into my next turn. This is better than basic attack. But then I would just get a second turn and I didn't fulfill the conditions for second turn. I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, I found out it was bugged. And then I just like went in, reset my skill tree. And I was like, I don't want to cheat. I was like, it feels like dirty.
Yeah, I get that.
And so I literally just reset my skill tree. I was like, I'm not using thermal transfer.
2 years old when I learned that thermal transfer was bugged.
That's so interesting.
I think it doesn't matter as much when you use Trebuchet the whole time because like that fucking weapon.
It does. Yeah.
The free
you play differently. You literally played it because like Mayhem. You primarily just use when you get Trebuchet. You primarily use Mayhem. Mayhem is so broken. It's 4 big burst of energy attacks, and they do different elemental damage based on what the stains are. So if you have a colorful stain, it ends up doing like a lot of damage because it's like considered, not elemental, I guess. It's like an omni.
Yeah. And then sometimes you end up doing the wrong thing on the enemy, and that happens. And you see green.
They get healed.
You see green on
it's
it.
Like damage, heal, damage.
Yeah, exactly.
What's awesome though is that like elemental genesis, it does like every element twice. And then so that move is so strong. There were times where I was like, okay, I know the enemy's going to get healed, but it won't matter.
Yeah.
So it'll be like, doosh, heal, and the enemy's dead. So it didn't matter that they got healed twice because like they got murdered anyway. Another move I used on her was I forget what it's called, but it's a big like ice wave, and it's like it's an ice move, and if you have a fire, a light, or a fire, electric, and green, it does greatly increase damage, and it inflicts like greater slow. And so I would use that move.
Tsunami,
it would do,
maybe?
Yeah, it would do a ton of damage and inflict greater slow. And then so like it's kind of like what Cimo was saying about CL, it would push the enemy's turns back so much, and I would just get to like pound on them for more turns. I'm already getting double turns with my characters. That shit was so sick. Like how funnel I can be. Like
Elemental Genesis.
Elemental Genesis is broken.
When I first did it, I was fighting Sprong. Like the first time I ever used Elemental Genesis, I was fighting Sprong. The way it looks is
God,
outrageous.
It floats up into the air, bro. Like,
and then she just doom, like just all the beams of light and everything. I'm like, what the fuck? when did she learn how to do all of that? Like, how did she do that?
Yeah.
Oh God, the characters are so broken in this game.
Kenny, to your point about your healing build or like your kind of like support engine with Lune, I kind of wish there was a picto that said there's no cap on your health. So like,
oh, that would be
still,
like fucking
your characters still
start
at base at whatever their base health is. But imagine if there was a picto that said your characters have uncapped health. So then your build could then like, it would be interesting as like a defensive build, right? Because then all of a sudden you're over healing and then it's like kind of like giving you like more chances to like not die. Right. And it's like the pictos already are fantastic in terms of like what they offer. But it's so funny that I'm like, as like we're talking about this, I'm like, that'd be a cool picto if like you could over heal yourself.
Yeah.
It's cool that you say that.
Like that. Yeah.
It's cool that you say that. The first thing I thought of, I said Bravely Default, but I meant to say Octopath Traveler because there's the one ability that I forget who has it, but she like overheals you to like double your health or something like that. But that's the first thing I thought of. But it's cool because like you guys were saying, and I fully agree, like at the end of the day, you don't really need to heal. What ended up happening to me is that because I was just healing to full every turn anyway, I still was getting to full health, which was cool.
Yep.
And then whenever I'd healed, it gave my whole team protect. So like I was taking less damage and then like so like I ended up living even on hard. I ended up living a lot more like turns than that I think you normally would, just because like every time it was Luna's turn, everybody would be at full health and then they would get protect and they would take half damage and then like all this other random bullshit. But if you could overheal on top of that, that'd be fucking crazy.
That'd be cool. I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to like do the job for the devs, but I mean, like the pictos already offer so much flexibility, but then like, you know, there's a new one, you know, so if we get Expedition 32, you know.
Did you guys ever make, so I didn't get to do this till like Act 3 because all of the, maybe not all, but most of the components to doing this build is in the Yellow Harvest. If I remember correctly, in the Yellow Harvest, there's like 3 or 4 pictos that are like, on your character's death, do this. It's like death bomb.
Yeah, the death bomb build.
Like, it explodes everybody. And then it's like, you revive when you die. And then there's like, as soon as the game starts, you die. So it's like, the fight starts, you insta-die, death bomb, you revive. And then also, because you died when you die, you give your whole party AP. So like, the fight starts, you die, they take damage, you come back, your whole party gets AP. And like, and then like, there's another thing where it's like, when you come back from being dead, it's instantly your turn. So like I had made a build one point where it was like the whole point was like to have my character kill himself and then they get revived and then like every time they die they blow up the enemies, they revive, it's their turn again, they get there's
also the buffs. It's like when you revive it's like gain rush or whatever too.
It was fun just to be like, okay, this was never like my main build, but it was fun to go like sit in the menu for like 2 hours tinkering with all the pictos. And being like, all right, I'm gonna do this. You could
literally spend like hours just trying to like find, unless you're Frazier and fucking farm for 4 billion Lumina and you just equip everything.
Yeah, all my characters have 1,500 Lumina, so what?
Yeah, exactly. I still remember, like, you finished stream one day, and then you came back on the next stream. I don't remember, like, I think there was, like, maybe a day or two in between.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, this motherfucker has, like, 700 Lumina on, like, every character. And I'm just like, how much did you grind?
I literally said on stream, I was like, so I did something very boring that I didn't want to do on stream because you guys are not going to enjoy watching me do this. But I started the stream off by continuing to do it. I was like, I did this for like an absurd amount of time yesterday. And I wasn't going to do this on stream because I don't want to be talking to people because like chat would just obviously be talking to me while I'm doing it. And I was I'm a maximalist when it comes to like maximizing efficiency. So as I'm running the route and doing it, I'm like, I'm doing this repetitive thing over and over, and I do not want to be distracted because I want to cut down on as much time as possible because you're doing it so many times that every 10 seconds you save or whatever, it ends up adding up. And anyway, that's just how I am with everything. So I ended up getting like you said, there was like a day lull, and I come back and every character just has like 700 Lumina.
That's insane.
And then my build
so you can just equip every picto to every fucking character.
I ended up building my builds at the end were so dumb. Like my like ultimate endgame super ignorant build is just the battle starts off, the 2 characters on the left and right both die, the enemy gets broke, it leaves Mayel standing. Mayel has 1 HP. She has fucking solo crit, solo fighter, solo everything. She has confident. She has confident. She has literally she's inverted. She has
every DPS skill.
She has for every shield she has. She has, for every shield she has, she gains 10%.
Oh, the shields. I forgot about the shields.
Yep.
Oh, yep.
People die and they give shields to her. So the battle starts off, everybody dies. She gets buffed to all hell. CVS receipt at the start. And then she's just standing there black and white. And it's like, do you even want me to do this to you?
Dude,
like,
that reminds me, when you have to do Mael versus Mael, like at the end of the Reacher, when you get all the way up there and it's like Mael versus Mael, that fight was
such
crazy.
Cool fight.
I went into that fight with like my normal Mael build at first because I didn't realize it was going to be a one-on-one or something. I forget. And then me having to dodge Mael's attacks were fucked up.
Yeah.
Right? She's just straight like Dougieing on me. I'm like, what the fuck?
She's
I'm
doing
trying to parry it
on you.
and then just beating the shit out of me. But then eventually, like I went in, I tinkered with my Pictos for like, I sat there for like 25 minutes, tinkered with my Pictos to get like the most maximized output thing. And I didn't realize I was about to do what I did. I fucking did some crazy shit. And then like I ended up doing like 75% of this bitch's health in like one turn.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there giggling like a fucking like laughing. So I was like, I cannot believe what the fuck I just did to this bitch. I just because she beat my ass. And then like I murdered her in like 2 turns. And I was laughing maniacally. I was like, I cannot believe what just fucking happened. It was so fucking
I love the
funny.
solo setups. I like the fact that the game even encourages you to do that if you choose to.
Exactly. That's even an option, right?
Yeah. The solo thing is really cool.
The Pictos, aside from the weapons and the skills, like even the Pictos encourage different builds. Like that's like this was one of my biggest fucking complaints with Final Fantasy 16. I don't know if you guys have played it or not, but like
I haven't beaten it. I played it a lot, but I haven't beaten it.
I got to the end.
Sure, I haven't either because I fucking stopped because I was fucking bored.
Literally did stop as well.
The biggest problem with that game is that again, when we're doing this thing where like Square Enix is going away from turn-based stuff and they're trying to make it like Devil May Cry Final Fantasy, it was from a RPG perspective so fucking boring because it's like, oh, I got a new weapon. It's better than my old one. Equip it. Oh,
with no thought
I can only pick. No, there's like no thought into any of like the character customization whatsoever. And I think that's like what really pissed me off is that in like not like in an actual like sense, but it pissed me off in the sense that it's like Expedition 33 could have been or Final Fantasy 16 could have been what Expedition 33 was.
Yep.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, they decided that people don't want turn-based combat anymore, and they're trying to like pivot it into like being something completely different than it actually is, right? And it's like, yeah, sure, FF16 has a couple strengths, but for the most part, it's like people miss the fucking turn-based shit. Like ever since Final Fantasy pivoted into being more action, real-time combat, let's take Final Fantasy 7 Remake and Rebirth out of this equation here. Let's talk about
let's do 15
right?
and
so let's talk about 15 and 16 specifically here. It's like these were not very well received.
No.
And so and then Expedition 33 comes along and basically just shits on like their face because it's like, you know, fuck you, like we did it, you could have done it, but we did it instead, you know?
Final Fantasy hasn't had super well received, not counting the MMOs. Like a super well
remake and rebirth, but like it was 7, so like it doesn't count.
It has nostalgia.
So it's like 10. Since 10 was the last out of the park well received Final Fantasy game, in that like 10 was like super well received. 11's an MMO. 12
14 12 I am the biggest 12 stan, and
12
like
really
that
good.
game just it's not well received. It's not
well received. 12 was not well received. It only got respect. I think 12 only got respect a decade after it came out. People went back and realized, oh my god, 12 is really, really good. But at first, 13, 13. 13,
3, don't talk about them.
Not well received.
Yeah.
14 was well received, but it's an MMO, so that doesn't count.
Then you get Versus 13, which is 15, not well received. Then you get 16, not like 16. I think is well received for like
it was like lukewarm,
the story and like stuff like that.
The story's good.
Graphically, it is quite impressive. I give it that too.
The thing
and hype. It has
just
some
to
hype
talk a little bit about 7 Remake. Something I do
it's
like.
Just shallow. It's just 16 is just shallow. Like it's so like half baked and like compared to what a Final Fantasy game was.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like for all faults, Final Fantasy 12 at least still had really good character customization. So,
yeah,
I mean, that's like one of the biggest elements of an RPG is the character, like, you know, your customization of like what build you want your characters to be, you know? And they just are solely stripping that away from like that franchise. And that's why I genuinely think these games are just not doing as well, is because it's like it's losing its identity almost.
It's a shame because like 16 really has there is no turn-based element at all in the game. Whereas if you compare it to like 7 Remake is also an action game, but because of the way its system works, it's also a turn-based game. Like it feels like a turn-based game and an action game at the same time. And I think that's a really cool direction. I like 7 Remake Part 1 and 2 gameplay a lot. It's a lot more than 16. But at the same time, I would love if Square made a Final Fantasy game that was more akin to this game. To me is FF10 meets Paper Mario put together. Because it has like a lot of FF10 mechanics, especially with the turn order and just all this other shit and speed and the way speed works. And then Paper Mario, where Paper Mario had like timing on the attacks and action blocking and stuff like that. It's FF10, Paper Mario thrown together, and then in the most immaculate, beautiful, crazy writing, great gameplay way that you could ever fucking imagine.
Yeah, best music, best fucking cinematics, best plot twist.
It better win fucking best everything, like just straight up. I will actually riot with you. I will riot if it doesn't.
It has to.
Clair Obscur is fantastic, and we haven't talked about like the actual plot twist of it all. So for people listening, I don't know if you played this game or not, and if you have, I know some people listen to every episode of the podcast, regardless of if they actually know the subject matter. I hope so,
because we spoiled like the entire game. But,
I'm about to get like into a little bit of an overarching, here's what the story actually is type of thing. So basically, this whole game, now we're 2 hours in, by the way.
2 hours and 19 minutes in. Here's
here's what the story is.
There's so much to glaze about this game. That's why we did this podcast.
Yep.
Like, just to give you guys what the story actually is, and this doesn't have to be like a super deep dive in terms of like, I'm not going to give a full walkthrough of every event.
We'd be here for another 3 hours.
Yeah, the overarching story is that people live in this dystopian world. They live on this continent that is separated from the rest of the world. And every year, this paintress, as they call it, this gigantic womanoid looking thing, right? It's off in the distance, but everyone can see it, right? Everyone lives in a city called
like
Lumia.
The thing from The Ring, except it's like the size of a building.
Yes. Imagine if the girl from The Ring, but not like in a nasty dress that's dirty. She's like, wearing all black or whatever, and she kind of looks cool, honestly. But like The Ring, hair covering her face. You don't really get to see her face or anything like that. And every year at the same time, there's this giant monolith that she is just like sleeping next to, dormant for 364 days of the year. On the 365th day, she wakes up, she stands up, and remember, she's a giant. And the number that you see on the monolith at first, so let's say it's on 75, she erases the 75, and then she just writes 74. When this happens, this is called the gommage, and everyone who is at that age or older dies. So if you are older than the number that she writes on the fucking monolith, you die.
Or the same age.
Yeah, you just literally perish away. Like you literally fade away. You see the character, like it looks like a Thanos snap, but just instead of dust, they turn into flowers. They turn into literally like white and red rose petals, and they fade away into nothingness. And it's it's painless. The person just like vanishes. They just fade off into nothingness. This happens every year. And essentially what this means is that civilization, humanity is going to die out eventually, because if you think about it, when the game starts, the number on the monolith is at 34, which means that there is no one older than 34 in the entire world. The main character is the oldest person in the world technically, because he's literally 33 years old. So like literally no one could be older than him. So he's like a grandpa, and he teaches these kids and stuff like that. So like that's the premise, is that they're trying to get to what they call the paintress. That's what she's called. They're trying to get to this paintress to kill her, to stop this, because they believe that she is the cause of why this is happening. They think that she is one.
And oh my God, keep going.
They think that she's the one causing this, because every year they see her get up, write a new number, and then people die. Their loved ones die. Children are left without families, without parents, and people are left without their loved ones, and just all types of havoc, right? This happens every year. People will get sent out from this continent. They get sent into the world, and they're called expeditioners. They go on these expeditions to try to figure out what's going on and also to try to kill the painters. The goal is to get to the monolith, which is everyone can see the monolith. It's in the distance. They're trying to get to it.
It's across like a fucking ocean, basically.
It's across the ocean. It's across this continent. It's across battlefields. It's across a lot of shit. But the goal is to get to it and kill her. So they train their whole lives essentially now because it's a crisis. They train their whole lives to get stronger. And their goal is to go to her and kill her. But no one has ever succeeded and no one has ever come back. So essentially, every expedition that's been sent out, they just die. Like no one ever, you never hear from, you send these people out and it's kind of a, why are we even doing this thing? And there's literally a council that like, they do literally think like, why are we doing this? Like at this point, it's kind of silly to be sending people off to their deaths when no one comes back. We don't get any information really coming back a lot of the time. It's just a waste of our efforts. Like we're just sending up people off to die.
At the same time though, I get that. I get their perspective. Like what's the point? Because like Gustav's sister was like, you're just going to die. Yep. He was like, I believe we're going to do it. And even if I don't like, but here's the thing. I get the perspective. Hey, why waste the time? But at the same time, it's like, guys, do we have a choice? Like eventually,
I'm going to die anyway.
You're going to die anyway.
We have to do this.
Gustav
I'm going
set
to
off
die
the
anyway.
last possible year he could. He's going to go Maj next year.
Yeah.
Like
that's
Gustav
what
is
most
going
people
to go
do.
Maj.
Mael is a unique case. Most people, they go on the year they're going to die. This is my last year of life. Mael was the only asshole that was 16. Like, I'm going now.
She's special. They let you know from the beginning. She is a special person. So you have this party. There's this young girl, 16 years old, who decides that she's going to go, even though she's not going to go Maj for a very long time. And by very long, I mean like 6 years. She's not going to die for a while. So she has like 6 more years ahead of her. And the main character, Gustav, he's like, listen, you're not coming with us. You have a lot of life to live. She decides to come anyway. He lets her. They land on this island. There's an old guy who literally looks like he's in his 60s or 70s. He's old as shit. He's dressed super nice in a suit, and he starts killing people the second they land on the forbidden continent where the paintress and everything would be. The second they land, they just start getting killed by some old dude. And they're like, first of all, how are you old? He doesn't answer their question. He does not speak. He just starts killing. And you can tell immediately he's way stronger than everyone else. Anyway, chaos ensues. Most of the expedition is like literally 40 of you guys. By the end of everything, there's like 6 of you alive and barely even that. So most of you end up dying on the beach as soon as the game starts. Fast forward, you collect party members. The main character, who you think is the main character, Gustav, ends up dying at the end of Act 1.
The fucking lamp master. That shit was crazy.
He ends up dying literally to the guy, the old dude, and now he has a name. His name is Renoir. He kills the main character, Gustav, at the end of Act 1. So you've been playing the entire game as him as like the focal point of the game. Like you think he is the main character. There's weird stuff going on. There's weird stuff going on with Mael, the young girl who decided to come with you guys, even though there's no reason for her to really do that. But like, she's still not the focal point yet. Gustav dies at the end of Act 1. And then it brings in this new dude called Verso, who looks similar to Gustav, and he has a similar playstyle in terms of combat, but he is a completely different person. His name's Verso, and now he is your new focal point. And in fact, you can tell he's the new focal point because when you go to camp, which is a big part of the game, and we didn't even talk about camp, but when you go to camp, he is the character that you walk around with. You cannot walk around with anybody else but him. He is so now you're meant to understand, okay, so Gustav was the character that I used to walk around camp with, and now I'm walking around camp with Verso and only Verso, and I get to talk to the other characters from his perspective specifically. I get to have one-on-ones from his perspective. So you have this new character, and like Kenny said earlier, you don't really like or trust him at first because like, who the fuck are you? You came after Gustav died, and you're supposed to be like his replacement. I don't really trust you. I had the exact same feeling. You grow to like him over time. Then you finally get to the point where you guys are strong enough to go to the actual like monolith. Like fast forward again. Now your party is strong enough. You guys have got this barrier breaker thing because the monolith apparently is blocked off by this energy field that you can't even really see. And if you get close to it, it'll just kill you. They end up developing this weapon by killing off these gigantic creatures called axons. The axons are like just giant monsters, essentially. But if you beat them, they give you enough energy. Like the energy in this world is called chroma. You get enough chroma, this weapon called the Barrier Breaker is created. And this allows this dude who's been helping you this whole time, called the Curator, right? This dude called the Curator, he's been helping you this whole time. You don't really know who he is. Mael found him. He's just been like helping your party the entire. He upgrades your weapons. He upgrades your characters with Lumina. He's just kind of he's a big help. He's a great help. No issues with this guy called the Curator. He's just helping. He's like, yeah, I can build a weapon that can actually break the barrier. You give him chroma. He breaks the barrier to the monolith. Now you're finally ready. What you guys have set out for to go kill the paintress. You get to the monolith. You get to the paintress. You start attacking her and nothing happens. She doesn't even like acknowledge you. Like literally no acknowledgement whatsoever. She's just sleeping and you guys are attacking her and nothing's happening. Eventually, Fast forward past that, you guys scale the monolith, you get to the top because you realize like, okay, that's just her avatar. That is not the actual. So the whole time, that gigantic being is not actually the paintress. That's just like a thing that the paintress can summon and use, essentially, right? It's like her flesh Gundam thing. Okay, so you get to the top of the monolith, and now before you actually encounter like the real paintress, what's the order? Do you fight the paintress or Renoir first?
No, you fight Renoir first.
Renoir's first.
Right.
Renoir's first.
So you get to where the paintress is, but Renoir...
Okay, if we're going to be spoiling stuff, Renoir is actually Verso's dad.
Yes.
So we you know, that gets revealed at some point as well, which is why no one in the party trusts Verso.
Yep. So there's this whole...
And that's going to be relevant for the next part you're about to say, which is why I wanted to say it.
Yep. So you get to the monolith finally. So this is like where everything... This is like the end of Act 2. This is the most important thing that the whole story
this is the end of the game.
Yep.
You think this is the end of the game for context.
It literally feels like, okay, we're at the paintress now. The old guy, Renoir, comes out again. The guy who killed everybody on the beach. The guy who killed Gustav. He literally killed your fucking man. He killed your Ned Stark. Gustav is the equivalent of Ned Stark. You literally play with him for a long time, season 1. And then he just dies in the season 1, just like Ned, literally taken straight from Game of Thrones. And like, you love this guy because they make him a likable character. They make him an honorable character. They make him a likable person. He dies. So Renoir is like super hated at this point. And Maëlle, she really wants to get revenge. She's like, I want to kill Renoir. Like, she is hellbent because Gustav meant everything to her. That's her older brother. He took care of her. There's all these emotions when you finally get to this moment where you're about to kill the paintress.
Adopted, but I mean, they weren't like blood related.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, she looked to him as like a brother.
Yes, exactly. She has her own family, which we're gonna get to that because
we'll get into that.
I'm leading all to a big plot twist here. So like he said, like Cimo said, Verso, the guy who replaced Gustav after Gustav died, Verso comes out of nowhere and he's fighting against Renoir for you. He's strong, like he's really strong, and for whatever reason, he's able to basically repel Renoir. Like Renoir backs off once Verso shows up, which is really interesting because you're like, why would this ever be a thing? Like, how are you that strong, whatever? But fast forward, now you guys are realizing Verso was the son of Renoir, which he lied. He said that Renoir was just his captain, his commander, and they
from his expedition from way back in the day.
Yep, and they don't agree on a lot of things, and that's why they bicker and they fight like they do. But
the way he describes it at first is like they were Expedition Zero. They went out and like some of them came back. They helped build New Lumiere, and he then explains, this is before you know that Renoir is his dad, but he explains like we don't really know what happened, but like the paintress blessed us and like we didn't die. Like she doesn't gomage us. We don't, and so the reason why Renoir protects her is because like she's keeping him alive and didn't gomage him and all this other. All the while, it's like, all right, bro. Like, all right, you're not. So Verso, you're kind of white lying here. You're leaving some things out. Like,
Verso is lying to you guys. People are kind of aware of it too, especially like Luna ACL are very inquisitive. But he's been lying to you guys, and it does get revealed that like he's actually immortal. He doesn't really explain why he's immortal, but he is fully immortal. So like he does this weird trick at one point where he cuts himself in half. And so his legs and his upper body are completely moving independent of one another, and they can like speak and shit, and it's very weird. But he's like, yeah, I can't die. This is one of the tricks that I do, but it is still painful. Anyway, you're finally at the paintress. You're finally at the goal of the entire story. You guys are the first expedition that potentially is going to get an opportunity to kill the paintress and end this entire nightmare that has become the world. Renoir, the old guy, again, he comes back, and he's here to defend you guys from killing the paintress. He's not going to let you kill the paintress. He's trying to stop you from doing this. And he's talking all of this family stuff about like, I want my family back. And Verso's like, it's not your family. Like, it's not your family. It's not fucking real. And you don't understand what any of this means. And don't worry, we're going to get there. You fight Renoir, you beat him. And then you basically fight the paintress. And you end up beating the paintress. And after you beat the paintress, you have this huge revelation at the end of Act 2. And like Kenny said...
Oh, hold on. Before we even get there, you find out that the paintress is Verso's mom.
Yep. So Renoir and the paintress are Verso's parents. Like, period. They are both mom. That's his mom and dad. You beat her. You beat Renoir. So now the paintress is gone. Renoir is gone. So it seems like, okay, great. You literally return to Lumiere. So you return to the city where it all started, where literally the game opens up. You return to Lumiere, and there's a huge party and a huge celebration because expeditioners do not come back. So this is a fucking huge deal. They do not return.
Celebrating the fucking...
They killed the paintress. They're alive. Like,
the numbers are off the monolith. They give Gustav's journal to like his apprentices. They're a little sad. Gustav's dead, but they get to read his journal, and it's like, holy shit, we won. Like, we beat the paintress. We're home.
like Cimo said earlier, you guys put the flag down at Expedition 33, where the monolith is. At the top of the monolith, there's an Expedition 33 flag, which is so epic. So you're like, wow, I fucking beat the game. You guys return. There's a huge celebration. And Verso is still kind of somber. And he pulls out a letter, and he goes and sits on the edge of the dock, and he starts reading this letter. And the letter is from his sister, Alicia, and it's talking about how you can give this letter to Mael if you want to. You don't have to, but you can give it to if you want to. And it's essentially his sister Alicia who's saying, your mother paints life and your father paints death. Once she is gone, the only thing standing between him who wants to erase the world, once he is gone, or once she is gone, once the paintress is gone, there is nothing stopping your father from erasing everything, which is his intent. He wishes to wipe out the entire canvas, this entire painting. He wants to erase it because he wants his family back basically in the real world. And there's this huge plot twist that essentially what it boils down to is the paintress is not actually the one who's killing everybody every year. Even though she gets up every year and writes a number down, what she's actually doing is painting a warning to the people of the world. And it's not her killing everybody. She's saying that I can only protect people who are below this number in age. So when she paints 34, that means that everybody who's below 34, her magic, her abilities can protect them from the real evil, which is Renoir. And this is confusing. This is going to be very confusing. But Renoir, the real Renoir, he's trying to kill everybody. And every year he gets stronger.
So let me help with some context here. So this whole world that you've been experiencing and playing throughout the entire time is a fake world. It is a painting. You are literally inside of a painting. This is a painted world. So there is a real world and a painted world, and everything you've experienced up until this point is the painted world. So when Frazier is going to be talking about Renoir, there is the Renoir that is painted in the painted world, and there is the Renoir that is the real life in the real world Renoir that he's going to be describing. I think that's just a slight piece of context that was missing, but go ahead.
And it's also very confusing because there's essentially two of everyone, right? So there's like, except Mael, but like even her technically.
And Verso, but.
Yes, well, there was, and there's a reason. There was another Verso, but there's this family called the Descendre family, right? There's the Descendre family, right? They're French. Yeah, there's this French family, and in the real world, they're called painters. They have this ridiculous ability, this god ability. And mind you, their real world looks like our room. It looks regular. Like they live in a regular ass world. They live in France. It looks like it has the Eiffel Tower and shit. It looks regular. It's a regular world, but they just have magic. We don't know anything else about this world because they don't give it to you on purpose. But this family in particular, they're very rich. They're very well off. They live in a huge mansion. And there's a brother named Verso. There's a sister named Clair.
Alicia.
Yeah.
Oh, Clair. Yeah.
There's Clair.
I guess there's two, technically.
Yep. There's Verso. There's Clair. There is Alicia. And then there's Alain, who's the mom, who's the paintress. And there's Renoir, who is the father, and he's also a painter. So this family, they're painters. They have this ability where they can literally create worlds called canvases. They can create worlds. And they can go inside of these worlds, and these worlds are fully functioning with humans in them that they literally made from nothingness. Like, I can literally just create a copy of Gary. Like, I could make Gary from the real world.
Like The Sims. It's basically just like The Sims.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's
and
all
they are like
painting.
real. Like, they have sentience. Like, they're creating, like, on one end, like, I don't even know if fake world is like, because like they're just creating universes.
Yes.
Like, they're creating world because they have sentience. Like they live. Like they have lives,
children. They reproduce on their own. Like
that's why I said it's like The Sims. Exactly.
Yeah. It's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah. So this painted world that the whole game took place in, you come to find out like this world that you're in is just a painting of. And this is going to be crazy. So Verso, the guy who replaced Gustav when he died, apparently in the real world, right, he's part of this family of 5 people, right? It's 3 children and the mom and dad. The real Verso died in a fire protecting his sister, Alicia. So he dies in the real world. The mother, who is the paintress, was so grief-struck that she decided to enter this painted world and recreate her family from the real world inside the painted. So she makes fake copies of her entire family inside of this painting. This painting happens to be, stay with me, the painting that you're in, the painting that the entire game takes place in, is the dead son's last, like it's the only thing that he has left in the real world is his painting. And it has a part of his soul inside of it. And because it has a part of his soul inside of it, it technically like is a way for the mom to always be with her son who she lost. And she is just so stricken with grief that she can't deal with the real world anymore. So she chooses to live her life inside of his canvas, her son who's dead. She lives inside of his world. So this world could be just as real as the one that we're currently living in. If you're listening to this podcast, just imagine like you don't know the world we live in right now on Earth. We call it Earth. This could be all be a painting. Just think of it like that. Like nothing about their world is actually fake. It is just real to them. Like they have sex, they die, they grow in old age. They do everything that you do as a human, but they just happen to be, the initial ones anyway, were created by these painters. So Verso dies in a fire protecting his younger sister, who is named Alicia. You've been playing the whole game with this character named Mael, who's like the 16-year-old girl with pink hair, who goes out with you guys early on an expedition, even though she shouldn't do this, but she ends up doing it anyway. And her name is Mael. And she's like born to a family, but she's kind of like orphaned off or whatever because, you know, her family no longer really exists. They got older and they got gomaged away. So Gustav took her in. He treats her like a younger sister. Gustav ends up dying. Verso comes into the picture. After this letter is like revealed that the whole time the paintress is actually this real woman who's just been inside of this world, right? Inside of the painting world.
It's like a 10-minute cutscene for context.
Yes, it explains a lot. And essentially, she has been protecting you guys because while she stays in this painting with her fake family, living her fake life here, where she doesn't want to face reality, where her son is dead, and her daughter, who was in the fire, who he saved, she's also burned really bad. So her face is like literally destroyed. Like her face is really fucked up. She has burn marks all over her face. She can't speak. Her throat is fucked up as well. So the fire did a lot of damage. Even though she got saved by Verso, Verso died in the fire protecting Alicia, but she ended up still suffering like these wounds that are visible all over her. The paintress, Alin, who created the fake family and who is trying to basically protect you guys, the reason why she's doing that is because she's been inside the painting too long. Apparently, painters, if they stay inside of a canvas for too long, they start to develop a sickness in the real world. Like their bodies starts to decay. Also, just to add in some more context, time passes very, very differently inside of a painting than it does in real life. So in real life, let's say 10 days have passed. In a painting, though, in the canvas world, 60 years have passed, just for context. So like 10 days in the real world is like years and years and years in a canvas. Alin, the paintress, right? The one that you saw in the beginning of the game who did that very first writing of the number 33 to kick everything off and like everyone starts disappearing like Thanos snapped. She's actually, her job that she's been doing this entire time for the last 67 years, she's been literally trying to stop her husband, the real Renoir from the real world, right? He hates the fact that his family is essentially like inside of this painting, dying literally because they're stuck inside of this fucking painting and it's killing them because that's just how it works. Like if you're a painter, if you go inside of a canvas for too long, you start dying. He hates that in the real world. His wife is literally not around, so he doesn't get to go to bed with his wife at night. He doesn't get to have home cooked meals by his wife. They don't get to go out to dinner. She's just in a canvas living out a fake life with a fake family because she can't face reality. On top of this, his daughter, Alicia, also went inside of the fucking painting. So she's in there now as well. And his other daughter, Clair, she goes between inside the canvas at times and then fighting a war with the people who started the fire that killed their child, Verso, in the first place. There's these people called the Writers, which we don't get much context on them because that's going to be an entire different game. But just know the fire was not like the fire. Well, it's already confirmed that we're getting more. Yeah, they already confirmed they're doing more Clair expedition.
Oh, they did? Oh,
yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
So these people called the Right. So you have the painters are the main characters, right? That's the Descendre family. They're painters. They have this ability to create worlds. They create these paintings, and inside these paintings are entire universes. Then there's these other people called the Writers, who you can take it as their antagonist to us because you were playing as the painters, and the Writers set the fire that killed Verso in the real world. But they used Alicia, the youngest sibling, Alicia. They used her. They manipulated her in some way in order for this fire to be set in the first place that ended up killing the brother and the son, Verso, in the real world. So again, real Renoir, who's married to real Alin, the paintress, because Alin has been inside his canvas for so long and she's falling ill in the real world, he is pissed and he's like, okay, I'm going to go inside this painting and I'm going to pull my family out. because my family is dying because they're inside of it. And I also just don't have my family in the real world. They're fucking playing a video game. They're stuck in The Sims where their souls are inside. So he goes in to fight her. When he goes in to fight his wife inside of the painting, it causes something called the fracture. The fracture is an event that happened 67 years ago, where literally the continent that they live on, like where the city of Lumiere is, that got separated from the rest of the world because of the fight between the paintress and Renoir. The paintress is the strongest person in the verse. She's the strongest painter. Alin, she taught everyone, her whole family, she taught them how to paint. So it's like, she's insane. She's broken. She's stronger than her husband. She's stronger than her daughters, even though one of them has a lot of promise. But she's still the strongest one by far. Out of her power scaling, she's insane, okay? Like, she's Beerus, and the rest of them are just like Z fighters. So just to give some context, Alin, the paintress, is stronger than everyone else in the entire game. And when Renoir comes in and he tries to fight her, she seals him at the bottom of the monolith. She's like, fuck this, I'm not dealing with you. I'm going to seal you and stop you from pulling me out, because she doesn't want to get pulled out. She wants to stay in her fantasy world with her fake family. Well, the older daughter, Clair, actually wants to help the father out. So Clair comes inside of the painting now, and Clair is actually extremely powerful. She's really, really powerful. I won't say that she's necessarily second in command, but she's up there. Clair is extremely powerful. She comes in the side of the painting and she decides to side with her father. So what she does is she creates these creatures called Nevrons that literally are designed to make it where when they kill people, when they kill expeditioners, or they just kill humans in general inside the painting, the paintress loses power over time. What this is doing, and this is the whole point, what this is doing by Clair creating these monsters that kill people and essentially trap their energy inside their body, what this is doing is it's weakening the paintress. If the paintress gets weakened, then the seal that's on Renoir loosens over time, and he's able to do what he really wants to do. And what he really wants to do is erase the painting. He wants to erase the world. So the real antagonist was never the paintress. She's actually protecting you guys, because the entire time she's using protective magic to make it where he cannot erase anyone whose age is below the number that she writes. She paints a warning every single year. My power is waning. I can only protect people who are below the age of 55. Next year, I can only protect people who are below the age of 54. And when you start the game, the number 34 is there, and then she gets weaker, of course, because over time, that's just what's happening. People are dying, and their energy's getting trapped so that the paintress can no longer use her ability to protect. And so she paints a number 33, and everyone who is that age or higher disappears like a Thanos snap. And so the real enemy is actually this guy named Renoir, who in the real world just wants his family back. That is like a very bare bones, and I know I said a lot, but that's a very
I like
bare
how you
bones
went on
version of
like
the
a 30-minute like just overview, but that's just barely scratching the surface of this game.
Yeah, because there's
barely scratching the surface.
So much little things. Because like a lot of what Frazier's explained all happens, but it's funny because it happens like you get a lot of that information at the end of Act 2.
Yeah.
Because like Act 2 happens, you're celebrating, you killed the paintress, you go back, everything's all good. I think Verso starts reading the letter, but it's at this point you're kind of confused. You don't. All of this information hasn't been given.
Well, you think you just beat the game. Like you thought, like the whole objective is to kill the paintress. So you thought the game is over. So you think this is like epilogue type shit. And then all of a sudden they drop the fucking atom bomb on you of fucking like you have no idea what's actually going on.
Everything turns gray. Everybody starts gommaging. Kids, fucking Lune, CL.
Literally everyone except Verso and Mael basically died.
Yeah. Yep. Everyone died. And then you find out all the information Frazier just said, that the painter is the one that's actually killing everybody, and the paintress was trying. And so, like, you killed the thing that was protecting everybody.
Yep.
And, like, once again, like, I think Frazier might have said earlier, Verso lies. He could have given us this information earlier.
Yep.
But he didn't, because this Verso's dealing with all kinds of different struggles and internal strife, etc.
So the truth is that the Verso that you've been playing the game with, and that's been with your party from Act 2 onward, has actually been telling a really big lie by omission, because he didn't tell you the truth about who the paintress really is, who Renoir really is. And come to find out, he is a replica, just like everybody else from the Desandre family inside the canvas. He's a replica of the real Verso that died, right? So he has all the memories and shit of the real Verso, but he is not the real Verso, which ends up tormenting him because he does not want to live a life as a fake version of somebody who was loved by people and who has all these memories of shit that he never actually experienced on his own. Like, I never experienced that. Why do I have these memories? I'm not really this person. That's not who I am. But you made me, and you gave me all of this fucking shit in my head that isn't real, and I'm tormented by it. And I've been living for a long time, and I'm immortal. I've been seeing people die. Everyone I've ever loved, he loved some girl named Julia, and he was lying to her as well. And eventually she found out because he got wounded, mortally wounded in a fight, and she noticed it, and like he just showed up like nothing happened basically after a while. Was like, hey, what's up? And she's like, yo, I watched you die. And like in her journal, she's like
her journal is crazy.
She's very serious about like, there's no person that could have survived that. I fucking saw it. You got cut in half, bro. There's no way you could have lived. You've been lying to us. I knew something was fishy, but I couldn't quite put my like tongue on it. But I knew something was wrong, and now I'm starting to figure it out. And she's like, you're a traitor. You've been fucking playing us. And now that we know, you're going to die a traitor's death. And so the person that he loved, who he's lying to about who he really is, she finds out. So he's lived a bunch of lives. He's been living for so many years as this like fake version of somebody who died and who was loved by the paintress. Lived so many years. He wants to actually end his life. He does not want to live this life anymore as this fake version of someone else. He doesn't want it. And literally there's a part called, I do not want this life. That is Verso. Yeah. So his goal was actually to get all of you guys killed so that he could also be killed. He wants like the real Renoir. Yeah, he wants the real Renoir who wants to erase the canvas. He wants the canvas to be erased. That is his goal.
And then also, not only does he deal with that self-guilt and like he does want himself to die, there's also part of him, because he has memories of the real Verso, he has love for like the real version of those people. So like he also wants for the health and happiness of those people, for them to get out of the canvas, because he knows that it's killing them as well. Something that's super interesting, speaking of journals, I'm sure you guys, but like Expedition 60 is the naked fucking expedition baller. So like when all of this shit happens when you finally do Act 3. In Act 3, on New Lumiere, eventually at some point, like in the water or something, you find the journal for Expedition 60. And their whole thing was like, they believed the human body was perfect. They didn't wear any clothes. They were completely naked. And they were like going to just run to the paintress. They get all the way to the paintress. They make it through the barrier. They kill a bunch of shit. They make it through the barrier. They learn that the paintress is actually a force of good. They learn that the real evil is in the monolith below the paintress. And then a bunch of them die trying to make it back to Lumiere to tell us what the truth is. What's so fucking crazy is that like they did so much, they made it so far, they found the real information, and like they made it back, but like I guess like their journal ended up in the ocean or whatever. They tried to think about like 27 years ago, there was an expedition that learned the truth. And they tried to bring the info back, but they weren't able to make it back. But they are fucking baller.
Like, the craziest part about them, the one guy swam back and he gomaged while he was swimming back. So like imagine basically what happened is like when you're about to die, when you're on your last year, usually people go on an expedition. They go on the expedition because they're like, I'm going to die anyway. I might as well.
They're going to die anyway.
Right. Yeah. I might as well do something with my life. So he, like part of this Expedition 60, one of the naked expeditioners.
At 59 years old.
Yeah, 59 years old. He's like, okay, I'm going to die anyway, so I'm going to go on this expedition. And as soon as he uncovers all this information with his expedition, everyone else gets wiped out, but this one guy, he starts swimming back to Lumiere to tell everybody, like, I found the truth. That Paintress is actually not an evil entity. It's Renoir who's below the monolith. And so we got to figure out a new plan. We're going at this all wrong, basically. As he's swimming back, the gomage happens because it's been a year, because it does take a while. Like time is passing as you're trying to get to the monolith. It's not like a straight, I leave in a month.
And it's far.
It's very far. Yeah. And it just takes a lot of time to actually get through all the Nevrons, get through all the monsters and all the shit that you have to do. Like break the barrier, get X on it, like just a lot of things you have to do, right? So he ends up gomaging right before, and it's kind of like a funny little thing that you read right before you fight the last boss. But essentially there's another component that I want to talk to before we can kind of like wrap this all up. So the character Mael, the 16-year-old who, again, she's in the very beginning of the game. She goes on this expedition early. She is not actually a girl named Mael, but she's not actually a girl named Mael. She's actually a part of the Descendre family. Like she's a part of that family. In the real world, her name is Alicia. So remember I said that there's Alicia, there's Clair, there's Verso. Verso died in a fire protecting his younger sister, Alicia. In the real world, Alicia got burned up really bad and she could no longer speak. And it's a great shame because the fire was not an accident. It was actually set by some people called the Writers by manipulating the younger sibling, Alicia, and it gets her brother, Verso, killed, which causes this entire thing to happen. This is what causes the paintress, Alin, to go inside of the canvas that Verso painted when he was a kid. This is what causes all of this to take place. where now she's stuck in here because she wants to create a fake family. All of this takes place because Alicia got tricked, got her brother killed, got her face burned up, got her voice taken away from her. And so in the real world, Alicia is depressed. She hates herself. She does not want to live in that life anymore. And so when her mom goes inside the painting, when her mom goes inside Verso's canvas to create a fake family, she gets convinced by her older sister Clair, you should also go inside, Alicia. You're useless here anyway. You're not doing anything here. Go in there and see if you can, like, I don't know, figure something out. Like, you're fucking literally useless to me here. You're not strong enough to help me in the fight against the writers. And you really have no other purpose. You can't really speak. So, like, just go inside of here, see if you can do anything in there, see if you could be of more use inside the painting. So Alicia, all burnt up, with no voice, goes inside of the canvas, the same one where all this is taking place. But when she enters, immediately she gets intercepted by the energy of the paintress, and it rewrites her as an infant child to this random family, and they name the daughter Mael. So she ends up getting amnesia, right? All her memories, like, she doesn't know who she is. She lives her entire life for 16 years as this girl named Mael. This is Alicia, though, who's burnt up. But when she's reborn, she's born as this other girl with no burn marks. She has a voice. She has friends. She has family. She has a brother figure, Gustav, in her life, the main character in the first act. So she lives this entire life. And honestly, it's, it's a dystopian world, but it's a much better life than the one she has on the outside, where she is super depressed and hates herself. And on top of that, she doesn't even remember that she was in a fire and that her brother was killed because of her, technically, and that she's burned up real bad and all these other things. She just lives her life as Mael, doesn't even know who Alicia is. When you guys get to the end of the game, or the fake end of the game, Act 2, and everything gets revealed, when Renoir, the real one, who wants to erase the entire canvas, wipes out all of humanity except Verso, who cannot be erased by him, except Verso and also Alicia, or Mael, those two come back. Everyone else is gone. So your whole party, Monoko, Ciel, like Lune, everyone's gone. Like, literally every other person is erased. And then after they get erased, Mael comes back and Verso come back. And they're like, okay, what the fuck? Mael's like, I have all these memories now of being Alicia. Like, I'm actually a completely different person. And now I've reawakened because he erased Mael, technically, right? Who she was essentially reincarnated as. So she's now really knows, oh shit, that's my dad. Like, the guy who erases everything, and the woman who's been protecting everyone, the paintress, that was my mother. And my father is the one who's in here trying to erase it all. So my mother's fighting to keep everything here because she likes the fake world. My dad is fighting to erase the fake world because he wants his family back in the real world. I know, confusing, but it ends up being that Mael was actually Alicia. Like, long story short, Mael is Alicia. And here's where the craziest crux of this whole thing is.
If this wasn't enough,
Alicia / Mael, because she's made friends with all these people inside the canvas, because she's lived her life there for 16 years, she's grown attached to this life. And she actually now has memories of being Mael, but she also has her memories of being Alicia in the real world. But she, just like her mother, is attached to this world, this fake world, fake in the sense that, like, it is a painted world. She does not intend or want to live her life as a burn victim with a dead brother, a depressed mom, an angry sister. Like, she doesn't want to live that life, just like the mom doesn't want to face reality. So her main thing is, I actually want to stay in this world, just like the paintress wanted to stay in this world, even if I know, oh, it actually will, like, kill you over time if you stay here too long. She doesn't care. She'd rather stay with Gustav. And because she's a painter, Alicia / Mael is a painter, she has the ability to literally recreate Lune, Ciel, Monoko, and everybody else who lived in Lumiere. She's that powerful because she's just like her family. She has the exact same abilities as them. She's not as powerful as the paintress, because no one is. Just keep that in mind. But she does have the ability to literally repaint the people who got fucking gomaged away and bring them back to life. And she can actually do a lot more if she gets more energy by, like, going around the world and absorbing what's called chroma, which is their energy system. She can get stronger and, like, actually beat her father, and that's, like, her goal. So the goal in Act 3 at the end of the game is essentially, now it's you, Mael / Alicia, versus your father, Renoir. And the goal is, like, to prevent him from erasing the canvas so that you and your mom can basically stay in this fake world where you guys are happy and not live reality where Verso is dead, you're a burn victim, you can't even speak, your sister fucking hates everything because she's pissed that your brother got killed. She's also hates you. Your mom also in the real world, your mom actually hates you too. She actually just looks at you and she sees the burn scars on your face, and it reminds her that you're a fucking idiot and you got your brother killed. You got my son killed. And so your mom actually hates you in the real world too. Like high key. It's
brutal. And then like you go into Act 3, and then you can, at the time I didn't know this, I'm curious what you guys think as well. Going into Act 3, I assumed, I was like, oh, they're going to be broken. So I was going to explore all the optional content anyway.
Yeah.
But I also thought like, if I tried to go fight the final boss right now, I knew if I wanted to, I could go fight the final boss.
Yep.
But I was like, oh, even if I tried, I would just get annihilated, right? He's probably like some level 99 broken shit. I didn't realize until I did a bunch of optional content and I finally went to go finish Act 3 that like, it's kind of it's at the level of when you end Act 2. Like you can just go right into Act 3.
You go right in.
And be fine. But I did all that extra shit. What's really cool is that at the camp, you can like adjust the difficulty kind of. So once I started doing the end of Act 3 and I realized I was way stronger than everything else, I like went into the camp and gave all of the enemies like 50, like times 50,000 health or whatever the fuck. Because you can like give them a health multiplier. And I was still obliterating them because like you're just a lot stronger. But I was like, oh, I wanted like when I do the final boss, I still want it to be hard. So I gave them like whatever the max health multiplier was. But so you do all of that, you get to the ending, and I wanted to ask, I assume both of you saw both endings.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I wanted to throw it over to Cimo and just kind of, if you wanted to, how Frazier went over like basically the story as a whole, if you wanted to talk about the two endings in general, what they are, and then also which one you preferred. I'm curious, like which ending you both of you like preferred as the better ending, if you just like both of them, dislike both of them, etc.
My memory's like a bit fuzzy because there's the good ending and there's the bad ending, and I forget like who is like which is
Verso's ending is that he pushes his sister Mael out of the canvas, and she is forced to face reality with the rest of the family. The canvas ends up getting destroyed, so everybody that you played
Verso's
the game,
gone.
Verso's gone. He gets his wish.
Everyone's gone. It's just the Desandre family is like back.
Yep,
basically.
That is the ending of that
ending.
One.
Is like they end up in the real world. That entire painted world essentially gets genocided. Everyone's dead. The world's gone, and the real world people are like they're back together as a family, and then like
and they can heal.
Minus Verso, obviously.
Minus Verso because he's really, really dead.
Yep.
But they're going to like heal and get over that grief or whatever. Hopefully,
ideally,
over time, etc.
Ideally,
And Mael's ending is like she beats Verso. And then
for context, the final boss is you as Mael or Verso fight either
the
Mael
other
or
one.
Verso.
Yeah.
That's like pick which one you want, and that is the final boss, and then your ending is determined based off of your decision.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you get to pick. Yep.
And then
so just for context.
Yeah. And so if Mael wins, she says like, look, I will leave the world. I just want to spend some time here. I love all these people. I want to save everyone, whatever. And then so Mael's ending is that she stays in the painted world, even though she promised her dad, like, look, I'm not going to die here. I will come back. But she stays in the painted world. She brings out, you see Gustav again. You see Gustav's girlfriend. Everybody comes back to life.
Yeah,
They're
she
living
repaints literally everybody who's ever been Gamage, basically.
Everything.
Yep.
And then like everybody's together, they're all happy, and then you see Verso and he's playing the piano, and like he always loved the music, and so he's up there playing the piano, but like he's really fucking sad because he's almost like a prisoner to all of this.
He literally is too.
Yeah. I mean, he is.
And,
he is. Yeah.
And then at the end, you see like a flash on Mael. You see she has like the painted eyes with like the sickness that they get.
Yeah. If they stay in the painting too long, they get
like
this look to them.
In that ending, the whole world gets to live, but Verso's a prisoner until Mael dies. Mael's going to die in the painting, and then like they never go back to the real world.
And Verso is old. Right. He has a beard, and like it's like grayed a little bit when he's about to play in front of this auditorium of people. And you see CL come in with her husband, which we never saw before, but like Pierre, who's
because he's back. She repainted.
She repainted everything. So you see like Sophie's back, Pierre, who you never saw, he's back with CL, and these characters look happy. These repainted versions of them or whatever, they look happy. But Verso, the guy who literally says, "I do not want this life. I am tortured and tormented.
A prisoner.
I'm a prisoner of this fucking canvas. I am literally a dead person remade with all of his memories, all of the love that was given to him without actually being him. I've lived too long. I've lived several lifetimes," which he says to Renoir at one point, like, we've lived several lifetimes already. It's time to hang it up. So he's miserable. And basically, Mael's ending is that she imprisons him and forces him to continue to live this life that he does not want.
Yeah, I think they make like an agreement. He's like, just promise me you'll let me die eventually. Like, promise me I can eventually
like
die.
Yeah,
take away my
that sounds familiar.
It's interesting because like I think both endings are kind of both good and bad. Like I've seen a lot of discourse.
Neither
are
perfect. Neither are
perfect.
I've
seen a lot of discourse of some people saying like, if you like this ending, you're literally a sociopath, you're evil, whatever.
Damn, not
people
that deep.
arguing. Yeah, people are arguing that like there's only one ending you're allowed to like, and if you like the other one, you're like crazy or whatever. But on one side, it's like one ending, like however you want to spin it, like one ending is like a genocide. Where like all the regardless of whether or not you view them as real, like they are sentient, they live real lives, like they all fucking die.
Yeah.
And
to
then
them, like they're real.
Yeah.
You know, they don't know it differently. Yeah.
And then, you know, they go back to the real world and they're supposed to heal and that family's supposed to like recover from everything and move on. But then the other ending is like all of those people don't die, but that family doesn't ever really become whole again. And then that Verso becomes like a prisoner until he dies, which is like really bad, but then there's no genocide.
So I didn't get a choice in my ending because Brittany picked one because she beat the game before I did, and she demanded I pick the other, so we saw both endings.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, but it makes sense, right? I mean, because it's inconsequential. It's the end of the game, right?
I just reloaded my save. I was like, I'm seeing both endings.
I mean, that's another thing.
I reloaded my save. I was like, I'm seeing both endings, and then I'll decide which one I want to be the ending I actually end the game on after I see both.
No, it's interesting because, like you said, they both had pros and cons, and like neither were a perfect, like happy, wrap it up in a bow Disney ending that I think people wanted. But I think that's a good thing. Because life isn't black and white.
Yep.
And I think the way that both endings play out, regardless of which one you prefer, I think the fact that it's like, depending on your perspective, it's good for some people and bad for others. Depending on your perspective, it's, you know, it could go either way. And that's, I think that's more interesting than it having a shonen ending of like, everything's just like happy.
You know what I love?
100%.
Because it leaves you thinking. It leaves you thinking.
Yeah, there's a discussion to be had about what is right, what is wrong about both endings.
Because everyone has their own, their own input to bring to the table in that discussion. Go ahead, Frazier. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, you know what I love is that I realize, and this realization happened literally on stream. I realized that there are no winners in Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I realized that everybody is fucked in some way in this game. So you have Alicia / Mael, who literally in the real world is a burn victim, lost her voice. She's horrible looking. No, like I don't know how else to say it, but she's no longer what you would consider.
She's missing an eye.
Bro, she's missing an eye. Her face has burn marks all over it. Her mother fucking hates her. Literally hangs up her smallest, tiniest little painting of her in the mansion. Her mother literally can't stand her. She reminds her of the fire. So that's Mael's thing, right? Clair also low-key has disdain for Mael, even though she tries to like hide it a little bit. But if you really read between the lines, Clair's very short and cutthroat, and she also just blatantly says like, you're fucking useless, like blatantly. Mm-hmm. You're also the reason why all of this happened. Why don't you go and fuck off somewhere? Like Clair also doesn't really like you.
Yeah.
Your brother's dead.
Clair is such a bitch. Holy shit.
Clair is really, really bitchy. She like created the Nevrons. She repainted over the painted version of herself. So like Clair comes inside, sees what her mother made. And because Clair is so powerful, like she's literally really powerful, just like the father and the mother, Clair comes in and she repaints, because she's so talented, she repaints over the paintress's creation of her because she finds it disgusting. And she makes that a machine that creates monsters. The Nevrons are all created by Clair repainting over Clair and making her just a soulless Nevron painter. Anyway, so Clair's fucked because she's a sociopath, essentially. Like, she's just fucked in her own way because now she's fighting this what's called the solitary war. She's by herself, fighting against the writers, right? Trying to figure shit out with that. And that's her obsession. She's like obsessed with getting back at them for killing Verso, right? Which is like, I understand Clair though, but she still is a fucking sociopath. So you got Clair, who's just hell-bent on this mission. You have the father, who literally just wants his family back in the real world. So his mission is to go inside and fucking pull her out. But when he goes inside, he gets trapped for 67 years under the fucking monolith. Like, so his life is fucked. And then you have Verso, the fake Verso, who is tormented by the fact that he's lived these, like he's going on expeditions with people. He's lying to them. they die. He fucking watches them die. Rinse and repeat this cycle over and over and over and over again. People just fucking dying. He hates that. It's just like everybody in some way is super fucked. Then you have the people who are the painted people, right? That's Gustav. That's Sophie. That's Ciel. That's Lune. That's everybody in the canvas who are real people for all intents and purposes, even though they're like created by the painted world or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same analogy. If you were a religious person and you believe in God, it is no different than our world.
Yes,
like essentially a God created our world, and we're all the people. So like that painted world is the same thing. If you were a religious person,
yes, it literally is the same thing. And the painters are just gods, right? Like they're literally just gods that just happen to interact with their creation. But literally, they are real in every way that we're real. So the same way listening to this are real, the same way you can go out and have a child, or you already have children maybe, they are just as real as you and your children, you and your husband, you and your wife. They are exactly the same. They do all the same things. They have all the same fights and strife and depression. They go through all the same things. The human condition that we experience in real life, these people go through the exact same thing. They are no different than us. So on one hand, they are also like, well, hold on. What do you mean this person wants to erase us? He wants to completely genocide all 8 billion people in the world. He wants to say, this world is causing my family of 5 pain, so I'm going to erase all 8 billion of you so that my family of 5 can move forward in our grieving. Because you 8 billion are causing fucking problems by existing, so I'm going to get rid of all of you. And that's honestly like, everybody is fucked no matter how you look at it, and no matter what ending you choose. You're either choosing a genocide ending where the entire world gets wiped out, or you're choosing an ending where they stay, but then you have multiple people who are being tortured by them staying. It's fucked no matter how you look at it.
Yeah. It hit hard too, because like for me, Verso has like a friendship thing that he does with all the characters. I hit max friendship with everybody, but like if you do it at a certain, like basically like between Lune and Ciel, like you can end up having sex with one of them. And if you have sex with one, you can't have sex with the other. And that's the one that like you get a relationship with. It doesn't really change the ending. Like in a lot of games that would like change the ending in some way.
I had sex with both of them.
Oh, did you? I didn't know you could. I thought, I don't know. But anyway, so for me, it was like, oh, like, Lune was
Frazier.
I'm so serious too. Like, I'm not doing a bit. If you go on stream, you can go to my videos and literally see the scene where he goes off with Ciel, which is the first one that happened. I was like, okay, I just had sex with Ciel. That was wild, but okay, that happened. They go for swimming lessons. They end up having sex.
Yeah.
And then swimming lessons. Yeah. Oh, he was swimming, all right.
She was. And then there's a part with Lune where they go off too, and I was like, no way, he just had sex with her too. I had sex with both of them on stream, so it happened.
So yeah, but anyway, so Lune ended up being like, but like she ended up being like the one or whatever, right? But not that this changes anything in the game, but what's really cool is that from my perspective, because that's the one that like Verso ended up having a relationship with, when I chose Verso's ending, it was so interesting because Ciel like talks to him like and then like when Lune realizes like I'm like everyone's going to die, she just like looks at Verso, like turns around and sits down like in this like defiant, like just like in this defiant, like the way she sits down and like, because he tries to kind of explain himself and like talk to them or whatever, and I think Ciel talks to him. I forget exactly what she says, but Lune just is like she's like she feels so betrayed because throughout the entire game she felt as though he was lying to her, but then they would make up for it and blah blah blah. There'd be this back and forth. You're lying to us. They'd learn information. Verso's lying to us, but then something would justify it, and then it would trust them. And then you get all the way here at the end. Here you go. You lie to us again, and now you're going to kill all of us. Yeah. And you're just okay with that. And it's like, fuck, man, it hit hard.
Yeah, I really, really enjoy how complex the story is, especially when you get to the end of Act 2. That letter gets read. It breaks everything that you thought you knew about the Paintress, about the world that you live in.
I warned you. I remember I was in stream. I was like, you're not ready for the end of Act 2.
It is literally top 5 games I've ever played. It's not even up for debate. This is one of the absolute best games of all time.
I was about to say, I think this might just be my number one.
It might be my number one too. There's only one game in my head that could even compete. One game / game series that could even compete with Clair Obscur Expedition 33, because this is like musically, visually, gameplay wise, story wise, character development, plot, battle system, like it hits everything out the park. Like there's no lacking part of this entire game, and I don't know many games that can say this game doesn't have any parts that are genuinely just bad or like not very good. Like every part of this game, in my opinion, is very good.
Yeah, it's a generational game.
I
was talking about this with someone. This is like when I was growing up, and you don't really know it at the time. It's not something you know until hindsight.
Yeah.
But like when I was growing up, there was like FF7 and Ocarina of Time were like these generational games that left a lasting mark on gaming culture. I think this game will leave a mark going forward that people will look back on and say like Expedition 33 was like part of this kind of mark going forward.
Yeah. No, the influence this game is going to have in the future of gaming now, like Square Enix is probably shitting themselves.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like everything is going to be compared to this if it's even remotely close to the genre. Right? Because everyone's gonna be like,
Obscur?
damn, right? It's like, damn, Final Fantasy 17 was good, but it wasn't Clair Obscur, right?
Yeah.
And like they're gonna be literally people are going to say that for the next like 5-10 years until this company produces their next game. Honestly, longer. Like it's like you said, this is a generational game, and we happen to be able to like be fortunate enough to be existing in the timeline that we got to experience this. Like this one game single-handedly like restored my faith like in the gaming like community like as a whole. Because
for me,
so much about
RPGs,
gaming,
but yes.
Yeah, but like so much of gaming has gone to shit because it's like gotcha fucking microtransaction
money
bullshit.
grab.
It's they're just trying to extract as much fucking money from the consumers as possible. And all these other companies are doing just all these like anti-consumer practices. You can just look at one game after the next of like how bullshit it is. And then out of the fucking ashes of all of that comes this fucking diamond of a game that
it is a diamond.
We're going to be holding in high regard till like the end of fucking time. Like I will not be surprised if like I am 60 years old and people are still talking about this game because of how lasting an impact it's going to have.
I agree. It is that monumental, that impactful. It is one of the best things I've ever played, and I suggest that if you are a gamer and somehow you made it this far into this 3-hour episode, that you play Clair Obscur at some point in your life. It is really, really, really good. I grew up on Final Fantasy games. I grew up on the classic Final Fantasy. 7, 8, and 9 for me were the first ones that I played, and I played them in that order, 7, 8, and 9. I was around for them actually releasing, and they were turn-based. They were all great in their own right. I still play those games every once in a while, but like this is basically nostalgic to my childhood taken to the extreme level. Like it is the extreme level of 7, 8, and 9 and 10. Just take everything about them in extreme. Like I never thought I would play an RPG that I genuinely think is better than Final Fantasy X. Like I never thought that would happen because for so long, Final Fantasy X came out in 2001. Bro, it is fucking 2025, and it took 24 years for me to find a game that I'm like, this is genuinely better than Final Fantasy X, and I have no qualms about saying like it is just genuinely a better game overall than Final Fantasy X, which is like, it just fucking is. Like 10 is in my top 5, but like this game, if I had a top 5 that I had to make right now, 10 would be in it. But then I would also just have Clair Obscur. Wherever 10 is, Clair Obscur has to be higher because it just is better. I
can't think of the last game I told so many friends about of like, not that you have to play this game, you need to play this game.
Yeah.
Like the impact that this game has. And again, like I said, one of my favorite pastimes that Brittany and I have now is when we get people hooked on this game, like you, like Voxy, like whoever the fuck else I told to play this game. Our favorite thing now is to watch you guys play it because it's like you said, I would pay double the price to wipe my memory and replay this fucking game. So the equivalent of that is getting friends to play it and they stream it and we can relive those moments again like we first experienced them. That is the closest we are going to get. And there is like no other game I could think of. I've never even wanted other people. I've never wanted other people to play it as much as I want other people to play this game. Like that is a good point. Like usually when I play a great game, I'm like, I played a great game and I don't give a fuck who else plays this great game.
Frazier, you know, with Cimo saying I love doing. Like if I see an anime, I'm like, Frazier, watch it. You know what I mean? Like I try to force people to watch things because I want to see the reaction to like I want to just hear you talk about because I already loved it.
When I
then it's like, how do I love it again? I make you watch it or play it. What'd you say?
I said when I played Clair Obscur, I ran right to you. I was like, oh, this game?
Yeah.
Because you were like, oh, I was already like thinking about it, but like I wasn't really. You weren't making any effort to like really go and play it yet. You were like, oh yeah, I heard about it.
There was already
but...
so many things I was doing, and it was like, all right, this game's on my list. I'm going to play this game, but like I don't have the time to play it right now because I'm doing so much stuff.
It is,
and then it was like, all right, fuck it, we'll just put it at the top of the list.
It's the real deal. It is not. People hype up shit all the time. It is not that.
This transcends hype, and also. I don't know about you. I cannot think of a single person that has said a bad, like that has had a bad experience playing this game. Yeah, I cannot. I have not met a single person yet who has said that game was like mid or below. Yeah. Like it is like
I haven't come across one.
It's held in such
not even
high
online.
regard.
Not even when I read things online have I come across somebody who's like, "This was mid." Y'all are out
Kenny
there.
was saying like, there are people having. There are people who have discussions about the ending, or like I said, like at minimum, I think the only complaint is that there's no mini map. But I think by design, I think that was better off that way. That is like the.
I would not have seen 60% of the world if there was a mini map. I can just vouch for myself.
Yeah. Right, I agree, and honestly, I think that would have ruined the experience to an extent. So it is. How often, especially in this modern day and age with social media and everything else, do you see something with so many like just stellar accolades? Right? You don't. It's almost like impossible.
No, this game's a darling. It's gonna live a long time. I don't think it's a competition. Like if your game came out this year, it's unfortunate. I do think. Game of the year is like going to this game, and I don't think it's contested.
It's really.
I think.
People are going to argue other games, of course, and that's fine.
Yeah,
but
then that's everyone's right to do so.
They're wrong.
Yeah, you're allowed to be wrong. I say it all the time.
You're allowed to be wrong. You're allowed to be wrong. Yeah. I will say
it's going to leave a mark.
The biggest issue that this game has is that this company has set such a high bar for them.
The next game will be hard to make.
Like the hype for their next game is going to be unfucking believable, and if they don't deliver, that is like, I mean. I don't even know if they can, right? Like,
I'm scared.
Can they beat this? Like, okay, it's one of two camps. It's either it's going to crash and burn, or somehow it's going to be better than this.
Yeah.
And there's no in between. There is no in between.
Yeah, this is hard to follow. That's also why Final Fantasy 12 was not received well, by the way. Final Fantasy 12 followed 10. Tough fucking act to follow, bro. You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it right if you did it right. It's like, how are you going to follow 10 in 2001, right? Like, how could you in 2001 in context? Because like I always try to think about the games like Ocarina of Time. I played it this year. The game looks fucking terrible, right? But like, obviously, when it came out, this shit was revolutionary, right? Like this big ass open world game with like. I don't know, crazy at the time, crazy graphics and shit. Like you're riding a horse and like it's a 3D horse. Everything about it was monumental. Final Fantasy X,
it
first game
basically invented 3D game combat. Like the way game combat works in 3D games, like the genesis of that is mostly Ocarina of Time. Like it's pretty insane.
It's absurd. Like the things that Ocarina of Time, Final Fantasy X, like again, first Final Fantasy where they were like speaking. Like the characters are literally speaking out loud. Like we take it for granted because every game just speaks now, right? But like that's how impactful, and that's the type of shit that needs to happen. Clair Obscur is somehow, speaking is normal, but then what's not normal is having a storyline that could be adapted into a TV show for HBO. Like how often do you get a game that you could say, well, I could see Clair Obscur becoming a fucking 5-season TV show
easily.
A big studio gets a hold of this script and they adapt it for TV. This would be an insane TV show.
It'd be broken. Oh yeah, it'd be so broken.
It has everything. It has sex. It has fucking violence. It has death. It has
everything.
Plot twists. I mean, that's a big. Game of Thrones has random sex scenes, and honestly, I think that is part of the reason why it's such a fucking good show. It's like one of the things: the characters, the deaths, the plot twists, the epic moments, the big battles and shit. Like the first time you fight Dueliste and those swords come out, you're like, oh my god!
And the fucking music that starts crescendo, like it's
don't
just,
even get me. God. Like the music, bro.
We didn't even talk about the voice acting. We didn't even talk about how good the fucking voice acting.
There's no part that's not insane.
There's too much to talk about.
Yeah.
Like there is. Like I mean, we've already been yapping for almost almost 4 hours at this point.
Yeah, we're at 3.5 hours, which I probably gotta wrap up.
We gotta.
I mean,
because I knew going into this was going to be.
There's so much.
We still didn't even touch, bro. We didn't touch on so many things, and then that's okay because you can't. You just can't. It would be a 9-hour podcast.
You need to experience it for yourself.
But you know what this is? This is okay. The people listening to this, for the most part, I mean, if you haven't played the game, you're crazy. Go play the game. But the people listening to this, what they're doing, Cimo, is what you did. They're not that they're watching someone play it, but like they just want to listen to people talk.
They want to relive the nostalgia of like all these different parts of the game. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. And that's it's so good. It's such a great.
If you didn't have me on this podcast, I would be listening to it because it's like anyone who's played it wants to talk about it because it's that good. You know, like again, it's phenomenal. It is. It's phenomenal. I don't know what to say. Game of the decade, honestly. Like game of the decade, straight up.
Yeah, it's really big. It did a lot. There's still so much I want to talk about, but it's like we're 3.5 hours.
We gotta wrap. Yeah, we gotta wrap.
By the way, just real quick, because this has been like on my mind. I Googled it and literally, and it might be a bug because Clair Obscur has like weird bugs. None of the bugs make the gameplay bad, by the way. So if you're listening to this, do not worry about like, and they probably are patched out by now. I played the game like 2 months ago.
I was gonna say they probably got patched out.
Yeah, whatever bugs. So apparently, like the romancing thing of the girls. Like, there are people like me who are like, you definitely can romance both. And there are people like, I was not able to romance both.
Yeah, so I wasn't able to romance both.
I have it on stream because I played the whole game. Outside of my grinding in Act 3, I played the entire game on stream. And you can, I could go out of my way to literally find, but I'm on Reddit right now. And a guy is like, I'm a bit confused here because I was able to romance CL and also Lune after her side quest. You definitely can romance both. And then another guy says, yeah, I've been actually hearing that from a lot of people. I'm wondering if the romance triggers are wonky or if you say certain things, the game doesn't flag it the right way. And it's just like,
maybe
like I did something that made it work because I 100% had sex with both of them. And I was like, that's so dirty. Like I remember on stream, I was like, what? I was like playing. I was like, bro, he's a fucking dirtball. Like, you fuck both of these girls, or you're in the same party. I was like, that's going to be a problem. And look, anyway, I remember distinctly after doing because CL was first.
From doing it though, Frazier.
No, it didn't.
No. But yeah, I'm not ready to go, but I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I do
want to say though,
infinite
spin-off anime of Expedition 60. Let me get that. I mean, just do a spin-off anime Expedition 60 because like they wouldn't be a fun game to play because they're naked and they have no equipment.
Just like a one-off.
I just want to see like a little anime of them just going.
I imagine it like, okay, remember like Naruto when they had like the war at the end and they're all like running at each other. I imagine it's like that, but they're just like all naked running towards them.
Hell yeah. Oh man, they're so baller.
Well, thank you for having me. This was a great
thank you
memory lane.
So much for coming on.
Thank you.
I thought this would be like, I don't know why. I knew it would be long. I said prepare for like 2 hours, but realistically, this was always going to be close to 4. Like it was always. This is the equivalent of a One Piece episode for us. Like the only other thing that rivals this length of podcast that gets us this riled up is fucking One Piece. Honestly, this game is a generational game. Like Kenny said, it's a generational game. Like Cimo said, I really could go on and on and on. And I think what's going to happen is in future podcast episodes, now that we've opened the floodgates, is something that I can at least like call back to. Now that we've talked about it initially, right?
It's going to get referenced a lot. Just like how there's an ongoing meme that like every IMNerd podcast episode references One Piece and Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Like,
well, that would just add Expedition 33 to it.
Yeah. It's just part of the conversation forever now because it changed my life. Like it literally has a lasting impression on my actual fucking life. Because I fell out of love with gaming. And now I am fully back in love.
Literally had the same experience. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I felt exactly
I'm just laughing because we could keep going and it's so bad. We need to end it. I'm cutting it off here, guys. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Real quick, I didn't even have the fucking names ready. I'm going to give a shout out to the people at the party member or higher tier, and we can get the hell out of here from there. Okay, so they changed something, and now I don't even know.
It's next to it. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It is still there.
I love that Patreon decides to change their website on a weekly basis and make it actively worse with each week that passes.
Yeah, like
I love that they do that.
I got so confused just now, Kenny.
Same thing, but it is still right there, but they just added some other random thing.
Thank you. All right, so we have Daft Punk does Clank Face. I don't know. Okay.
Clanker.
Nova Leo, Quest, Xavier Swift, This Ain't God, This is Stanley Earl, Hanging with Epstein. My 3 chakra styles are Control, ALT, and Delete. Oh, Control, Alt, and Delete. My 3 chakra styles are Control, Alt, Delete. Henri Reynolds, Red Vines, Mitchell, Niles, Vince, Dallas Bailey, KJ, How Much Media You Got, Sarah Maria, Alex Ahern, FT Campa, Edison Club, Big Bora, Grok, Sugal, Mr. Soltai, Vicky Venamon, Elijah Barfall, Tyler Today, Evolving the Mega Monarch. Happy anniversary of the Mike and John incident. Generator 215, Joshua Carroll, Eric Chai, Wayne Bangui, Brian Moore, Dark World Emperor Tai, Gingerilla, Darling Hold My Hand, Tim Bailey Can Only Do What Freerun Can Do, Real Nika, Billy Jiroji, DeMarco Santos, Mamezuku Rai, Cormac Newton, B-Dog23, Black Wings, Mentioned, Employster, Tyler Frasher, Sasha Egger, Daniel Anderson, Deroa, Ask the Mattress Sleeping is Goated, Jordan Eastman, Robert Light, Casval95, and then Kenny, you take it from here.
We have Clanger, Fantan Andrea, HT19, Gregory Calmaring, Charles Duran, Limp Bizkit Jigsaw, Mike and John, Rich Silverberg, Santi, Frago, Anthony Japov, Michael Zhang, Tyler, Chris Louie, Luis Juarez, Julian Weidman, the Hopeless One, Nicholas. Because his name comes after Luis Juarez, I always want to say Julian. Anyway, the Hopeless One, Nicholas Cook, Ian Baylor, Choo Choo Train, Raj, Chris Kemp, Golems Are People Too, Trace Kreminga, Cameron, Dark Void TG, Pearson Boyer, Ori Leok, Daniel Brando, Jackson Conrad, Shrabster, Chris Flores, Gourmont, Cold Madness, Alexander Storp, Blake Smith Will Deep Fry Your Twinkie, Smiley Face, Justin Herman, Jake Tamer, Carlos Martinez, Nakata Yon, Chess Prime, Connor Ketchum, Nova HT, Mask 22, Joshua S, Luca Guarino, Carl White, Idris Hosni, and Chris Johnston.
I'm sorry, hanging with Epstein fucking killed.
Wild.
You heard that one?
Time.
I was dying as soon as you read that. I fucking lost.
I was wondering why you took off your glasses and you were fucking.
You were
red.
I was literally crying from laughing.
I
wasn't. I've read dumb patron names. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But as soon as I heard that, I'm like, that's fucking nuts.
Yo, you were so red, and you took your glasses off, and I was staring at you, but I thought you were going through something. I was like,
oh no,
he was
going through something, Frazier.
I saw you. Like, I literally saw you take the glasses off, and your whole skin complexion was just like 4 shades more red. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? But I was like, you know what? I'm hoping he's okay. And like, I'm just going to leave it be. And then it was the hanging with Epstein that did it to you. So anyways, guys, thank you so much, Cimo. Thank you also, Kenny,
thank you so
amazing
much.
co-host. This has been an amazing episode of IMNerd Podcast, guys. Do the things that make you happy, including enjoying a generational game like Clair Obscur Expedition 33. We will catch you in the next one. Peace.
So long, Gay Bowser.
So long.